Fears. Audience. Audience. Fears. Audience. Fears. How art is thou? Thouest is doing glorious. Today, guys, we're going to be doing some live commentary on Fearsman, cartoon pilot episode, The Adventure Begins. I'm going to invite a guest on, Randall, the man that created the cartoon. We both created it. I wrote it. Randall created it in the animation. And we're going to take some fan questions. We're going to take some fan questions. We're going to take some fan questions. We're going to tell all what the Easter eggs are, you guys. And it's going to be good stuff. So let's get started. So I'm going to send Randall the link, and we're going to get Emosian. We're going to get Emosian on here. So, and I figured out how to do this. So we should be all ready to go. I apologize for all the technical difficulties, but we've got everything good to go now. And I'm going to be sending Randall the link. Okay, I sent Randall the link. He should be here, and we're gonna be raring to go. Raring to go. And oh yes. And let me pull up the chat real quick. Get the chat right. Get the chat going. Randall.
All right.
How
Let's
art
get
is
this party started, motherfucker.
How art is thou?
Thou art in thine kingdom.
Glorious in thy own kingdom?
Oh yes.
Wondrous in thy own kingdom?
Wondrous.
Randall, you are a delight. Well, Randall, we don't have any comments yet, but we will get to it. So I'm going to minimize the comments, and I think I know how to do this, Randall. So you have to minimize this. You have to already have pulled up the cartoon. So I have it pulled up, and what I'll do is I'm going to screen share it, and it should be good to go. And then, so tell me when you can see it. You can see the cartoon now, right?
I can see Fearsman pilot episode, The Adventure Begins.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So every time you talk, it bounces back to you. So I'm gonna just click it on me, Randall. So and then whenever you want to talk, I'll click it onto you. So we got this, and I'm gonna make this full screen.
Okay.
Okay. Now, can you see it now? It's full screen.
It hasn't gone full screen yet on mine.
Oh, well, here I'm gonna play it, and let me know. And let me know if you can see it full screen.
Okay.
Can you see it full screen now?
No.
Okay, hang on.
Okay. I can see the cartoon. Not full screen, but I can see the cartoon.
All right. Huh. Well,
but I can see it, so we can watch it.
And you can hear it, right?
Is it playing right now?
No, I'm about to play it.
Oh, okay.
Like here, let me play it and tell me if you can hear this. Can you hear that?
No, Fears, I can't. Crap. But you know what? I think visual is enough for me. I like all the Easter eggs are visual, so I can tell you when it comes up.
Mm-hmm. I think you can't hear it, Randall, because I can hear it through my speaker, so it should come on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. So.
Or I hope. If not, we'll just have to do it, by memory. But I mean, we know. We know what it is. I think this is the way you do it, Now, when I played it, was it moving and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, well, then that's all we need. Let me see if there's any comments. Oh, Geodude says, Randy versus Fears, let the trash talking begin. Well, Randy, guess what? Guess what? We are going to be doing next Tuesday, guys. Me and Randall are going to go head-to-head on the Geodude's channel for Trivia Night. Randy, I'm actually pretty excited but pretty nervous because I don't know if I'm that good at trivia. And you know a lot about movies. I know a lot about movies, but...
You're going down.
You son of a bitch. Oh, you think? You think so, Randall? You bastard. You son of a bitch. Randall, you can take that Jehovah's Witness shit and shove it up your ass. You're going down. No, I'm just joking, Randall. I joke, Randall. Randall?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were severely pissed off. I was like, oh shit. I was like, God damn. All right.
Oh, I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
All right, so are you ready, Randall?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I can hear it. Let me ask the chat. Whenever I played it, guys, could you guys hear it? Could the chat hear it? Let me know. Let me know before I start playing this.
All right.
Because Randall, as long as the chat can hear it and I can hear it, then we should be good. Because you know what they say, you know. And
oh yeah.
And whatever you couldn't remember, Randall, I can tell you what the cartoon's saying, you know, and we can discuss it. Because each scene we'll play the scene and then we'll discuss each scene, or whenever we see an Easter egg, you can tell me to stop it, Randall, and I'll just pause it and then we can talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, actually, I've got two right off the bat, Fears.
Oh, okay. Well, hang on. So can the chat hear it if I play it? You know what, Randall? Let's just start, and then.
All right, let's just do it.
Let's just start, and then I hope the fans can hear it.
Yeah.
I mean, they've already listened to it, so yeah. Okay, let's just go. All right, here we go. Alrighty, and here we are. 3, 2, 1, and play. Okay, Randall, I see a couple Easter eggs. So Slackers, guys, if you guys don't know, is Fears' favorite nerd store. So that's number one, and this is exactly what it looks like. Randall actually got, the light bulbs on the left and the right, perfect. The open sign is exactly how they have it, Randall. They actually have a circle sign like that. I gave Randall a picture of it. Randall, the only thing that you didn't get right is the Slacker sign is not white. It's black with red letters. But I told Randall to switch it up a little bit, so we wouldn't get sued.
Yeah. And then the 0026 is for Fearsman 26.
And I didn't even think of that. And Randall actually thought of that and was like, Fears, where do you see an Easter egg in this? And I was like, it's Slackers, right? And then you're like, look harder, Fears. And I'm like, that's all I can see. And then he told me about that. Let's see if there's any commentary yet. No commentary yet. Okay, but we got 4 people watching, Randall, so that's wonderful, wonderful. All right, let's continue on. And Fears is wearing my legendary Ghostbusters jersey. So, all right, let's continue on. Oh, real quick, Randall. I love how you made yourself look like somebody from the Matrix.
Yeah, I was actually about 20 pounds thinner when I animated this, so that was reflecting how I looked in this animation. So. Well,
you look marvelous, Randall. You look marvelous, and you actually got Fears. I mean, you got my hair pretty detailed, and you pretty much got my gray jersey. I mean, almost to the T.
Yeah, you were wearing that one a lot around the time that I did it, so I decided to go with that one.
Well, and I thought that was perfect because I told you in the Fearsman cartoon, I want to use real outfits that you and me wear in real life, and this is a real outfit that Randall wears. Randall has a black jacket, and you have that red kind of pullover thing, right?
Yeah, I have that jacket. That jacket is kind of like a jogging jacket.
Yeah, and of course I have that. I have that jersey, so I thought that would be a fun little Easter egg too. Because I'm like Randall, like I even said, I'm like Randall. Whenever you watch cartoons, I'm like they're always making all these crazy, weird like costumes, in cartoons for people to wear that look nothing like real life clothing. And then Randall looked at me and said, "Well, Fears, do you just want me to like draw the clothing that you're wearing like whenever we start a cartoon?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's perfect." I said, "Then you can actually take wardrobe that I wear, Randall, right out of my closet and put it into the cartoon, and it'll be, I don't know, it just gives it more of a like a real life type of thing." Or you know what I'm trying to say, Randall?
Yeah. The background here and the background in the other shot are actually two totally different backgrounds. Like the characters that I drew were so detailed that I could just blow them up. I could just enlarge them. But like the background of Slackers was so low resolution that when I wanted to do a closer version of Slackers, I actually had to draw a totally different version of a totally bigger version of the background.
Because this is a close-up, and whenever you show me like the full size Slackers, it's a very little drawing picture. And Randall's like, "Don't worry, Fears. When I zoom in, whenever you and me are talking, he goes, I'll just cut off the open side, and you barely see the 26, and it'll be like we're standing right outside the window, and it's a close-up." And I was like, "All right, that sounds good to me, buddy." And so yeah, all right, let's continue on. So any more Easter eggs in here, Randall, or have we got this?
Not that I know of, no.
All right, let's continue on.
Now there is a little Easter egg on the coffee cup.
Yep. Yep.
It says "I heart Sneddles," although I spelled Sneddles wrong.
I was about to say that, Randall. The fans actually caught that because I think the way the fans spell it. How do the fans spell it? Is it SNETTIES, or is it two T's?
It's SNETTLES. But one thing is interesting when my mom watched this, because my mom's in this. When my mom watched this, she was curious about two things. She was like, "What's Sneddles, Randy?" And then I had to explain her what Sneddles was. And then like when I go like, "Let the bung be with you," she's like, "What is the bung, Randy?" So I had to.
We'll get to the bung in a minute. But we designed Sega off of one picture. If you guys go to Sega's Facebook page, there is, I think he's like sitting on a couch, Randall, and it's like Christmas morning. And the only thing, and so that's why he's got the red pajamas on. And I told Randall to make his bathrobe a little darker, because you said a green bathrobe is very hard to do, Randall, because some of the backgrounds are green, and with the green plants in it, and you said it would kind of be impossible. Do you want to explain that?
Well, like if I see his cup is red, so and like I do chroma key to edit out the backgrounds. So if I had a green background and he had a green shirt on, his shirt would have turned invisible. And if I did a red background and there was the red heart would have turned invisible. And so I had to. I decided on red shirt, red thing, so I could do a green background and chroma key that out.
Yeah, and have a black robe. And so I talked to Sega, and once I explained it to him, he was very understanding. But at first he was like, "Fears, I would really love my green bathrobe in there." And I said, eventually we're gonna try and find out a way, Sega, to get the green bathrobe in there. Because Randall, wouldn't it be plausible if you made a green bathrobe and had it, and maybe have Sega standing up against like a black wall or something? Then you could do it, right?
Maybe, yeah.
So guys, we really will try to explore getting Sega the green bathrobe because, Sega's bathrobe is green and, we want to make it as lifelike as possible. And so, yeah. And then we had to get Sega in there. I just didn't know where to put him, Randall. At first, I really didn't know where to put him. And Randall, was it your idea or was it my idea to have Sega, plug my channel?
I think it was your idea, Fierce.
Okay. And I thought, well, we'll just get Sega right in the beginning because at first I wanted to put him somewhere in the cartoon.
Yeah.
But I had already planned to have Carrie and Matt and other characters, in the rescue scene, at the end, Randall. And I'm like, Randall can only put so many people in that rescue scene because you kind of crammed him in there, Randall, already to begin with. And you're like, Fears, like, we're not going to have much room once I put Carrie, once I put Matt in there, because then we had Cameo Man in there, and we had Ray, and we had Cody, then we had some guy in a trench coat, which is supposed to represent Clark Kent.
Well, I thought it was going to be kind of like the Commissioner Gordon of the series.
Oh, okay. See, I thought you were doing it like from Clark Kent's thing, but okay, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So we decided to we thought it would be really funny and really cute and classic Sega if he starts the cartoon off with a bang. And I talked to Sega and he loved it. And now, granted, Sega is clean shaven now, but this we drew it about when did you draw this cartoon, Randall? About what, 6 months ago? It was one of the very first.
Around that, yeah.
It was one of the very first drawings you did, and and it came out great. When you showed me Sega, oh, I was sold, dude. And, no, actually, I think you showed me first, then you showed a version of you, and then you showed me Sega. But it was one of the very first drawings, and once I saw Sega, I was like, oh my god, this cartoon is going to be freaking great.
Yeah, because can you go to the wider shot? Press play and go to the wider shot.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the wider shot. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, now, if you look at Sega's pants, like Sega wears plaid, and what I could have done, I could have been lazy and I could have just gone into Photoshop and selected a plaid color. But no, what I actually did is I hand drew out the plaid and like I colored it myself. It's not like a little just like a plaid effect. That is, I actually drew all the stripes of the plaid. I figured out like what the color each square would be. So I actually hand drew each little square of plaid. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome. All right, let's continue on. And of course, Fierce has got his yellow Chuck Taylors on. Heck yeah. Got to get a Converse in there. So that's kind of an Easter egg, but not really. But, all right, let's continue.
It's an Easter egg for Converse.
Exactly. Now, that was my idea, Randall, for you to do the worst sniddles ever, because I felt like Sega didn't have many lines, and I was like, well, we got to get Sega's triggered line in there. And you thought that was great. Sega thought that was great. So I said, Randall, why don't you just give like your version of the most shittiest sniddles ever? And then that's when Sega comes in and it's like, you're trying to get me triggered. So let's watch that.
Now, the arm movement there wasn't my idea. That was Sega's idea.
That was Sega's idea. Yeah, at first we were just going to have Sega just say, you're starting to get me triggered. There's only one guy. And just, have him hold his coffee cup. And then I was going to zoom in and say, all right, that's all I needed. Start that intro. But Randy thought, we needed something extra. And then once Sega said that, it was just a win-win.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue on.
Now, next time we do this title sequence, I'm going to do the title sequence at the end of the process. What we're going to do, and that way I'll be able to add in all the actors, so it's not Randy Brown, Randall Brown, John Fears, Johnny Fears, Johnny P. Fears, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and I told the fans, Randall, what we should do is we should keep the intro really quick. It should be like the key characters, like starring John Fears, starring Randall Brown, starring if Sega makes another cameo, or Matt or whoever, and then we'll have the Fears logo pops up, with the big F, and then it shows the title of the episode, and then all the producing, directing, writing, all that stuff, that needs to come at the very end, like in the credits.
Yeah.
So we learned from our mistakes, guys, because a lot of people thought like I was taking all the credit, and I wasn't giving any credit to Randall. No, that's not the case. It wasn't the case at all. And they were like, why is it Fears doing this and Fears doing that? And they're like, then they got mad. They're like, well, Fears barely did anything, which is completely untrue. I did a lot on this cartoon. Randall did more, but I helped out. Like I helped pick out, the voice actors. Randall helped me on that too. We decided, which character should play which character. Me and Randall wrote the script together. I wrote, a good portion of it, but I'm not the best writer in the world, Randall. So that's why I wanted your expertise.
Yeah, and commenting on the voice actors. Fearsman cartoon pilot episode, The Adventure Begins, is kind of historic because this episode, this cartoon that I did, has more voice actors in it than any of my other cartoons.
Exactly. So not only does it have the most voice actors in a cartoon ever made by Randall, but it's the longest cartoon you've ever made, Randall, correct?
Yeah. There's one episode of Cameo Man where I took all the other episodes of Cameo Man, I smushed them together, and I kind of made like little scenes so that they would connect. That is 25 minutes long, but it doesn't really count because those are just a bunch of different cartoons all taken together. As far as like one single episode that is supposed to be one episode, this is the longest thing I've done ever.
Yeah. This is the longest cartoon that Randall has made, and we just can't thank the fans enough. It's doing really good online. It's up to 271 views, I think, the last time I looked at it, Randy.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing I would say is it got a lot of dislikes, and I think the reason why it got a lot of dislikes is because, a lot of the trolls made a whole bunch of troll accounts, and they wanted to, start it off bad. But it's got 14 likes,
Yeah.
Because these idiots have, 10, 20 accounts. All they have to do is just sign into their accounts and just hit dislike, dislike, dislike. So, that was a little disappointing, but I hope that the next episode we've learned from our mistakes, which, it's trial and error, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're bound to make some...
I don't think no matter how good the video is, you're going to get some dislikes from trolls.
Well, that's true. That's true. I think, they just wanted to, kind of sabotage it and be like, oh, well, we've got 25, fake accounts. We'll just, give them 20 dislikes, right off the bat,
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of bullshit. But, because did you hear that Moody, one of the worst trolls ever that called my house? He did his own commentary, and I don't know if you heard about this, Randall, but he basically nitpicked every single little thing. He wasn't being honest with himself. Like he gave you some credit, Randall, which I can't believe I'm giving Moody credit, but I'll give him credit. He actually did say some nice things. He said, I'll give Randy credit. This is a good cartoon. He goes far better than whatever I could do. But he nitpicked everything. Like when you're playing Will L and talking about the powers. He's like, I don't get the powers. I don't get it. Like what does he have? Why does he have the power of flagellants? Why does he have the power of fears? And what is the power of fears? And I'm like, are you that much of a freaking idiot that you can't understand like powers? I'm like, it's not rocket science. You know what I'm saying? Like he has the power of strength. Every superhero has the power of strength. Almost every superhero has the power of flight. That means he has the power of flying through the air. And then because I have Crohn's, he has the power of flagellance, you know, and then the power of fear. He didn't get that, Randall. It's not rocket science, Moody. I guess whenever you watch this, the power of fear is because my last name is Fears, you know, henceforth Fearsman. You know what I'm saying, Randall? I said he has.
I don't think we should give Moody any more credit, and I think we should move on from talking.
Well, I'm just saying, because when I watched his commentary, Randall, he wanted me to explain this, so I'm explaining it. The power of fear means is he can look into his villains' minds, and whatever they fear, he can turn into that fear. So let's say a villain is afraid of spiders. Fearsman would turn into a gigantic spider or a million spiders and crawl up the guy's face and freak the guy out, and then the bully or the villain or whoever would run away in fear.
Yeah, that animation actually turned out pretty good with the spiders on the face. Like
yeah. I love that, Randall. And you had that in the teaser trailer.
Yeah, and that's another thing I want to comment on. Now, yes, we did say we were going to have a cartoon a year ago. This is true, but we gave you a cartoon, like the trailer. And the two teaser trailers, those are cartoons. You know, it's like it's kind of like my friend Ryan was talking about, like the movie Reservoir Dogs, and he goes, "Oh, Randy, this movie is cost effective. It only shoots in one location." I'm like, no, the diner at the beginning and all the flashback sequences where the cops are running down the street, just because it's a flashback doesn't mean that Quentin Tarantino and his film crew did not have to shoot those scenes. Reservoir Dogs does not take place in one scene, and those two teasers and that trailer were cartoons. So
yeah, it actually is. Yeah, and they were just bitching and complaining and moaning, but the thing that they were really bitching and complaining about is I'm not making fun of the fans. Randall is right. He's 100% right. He gave you, actually, you did 3 teaser trailers, right, Randall? 3.
Yeah, I did the one with the blueberry. I did the one with the milkman. And then I did one with the house on fire. So that's 3 cartoons right there.
Yeah, that's 3 cartoons. One was a full trailer, and then the other 2 were teaser trailers. So the only thing that they got mad about is that I didn't lie, but we didn't start when we were going to say we were going to start. Last June, we announced that we're going to make a cartoon. And then it took you from June to October to make those 3 cartoons. And we should have started on the cartoon right away. Randall, are you clipping your toenails?
No.
And not listening to me?
I'm listening.
Put that nail clipper down, my friend. Did you just throw your nail clipper? That was amazing. That's amazing.
Okay, moving on.
No, so Randall, that's what they got mad about. So, but once you started in October, from October to now, that was a good 6 months, right?
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have been 6 months if we wouldn't have made it 20 minutes. But I decided to make it 20 minutes because they had been waiting so long. The next one will probably take Randall a month or 2 because it's only going to be about 5 or 10 minutes. You know, and
mine are only going to be 5 minutes.
Yeah. So I told Randall the next Fearsman episode is going to be somewhere between 5 and 7 minutes. So then Randy has less to draw, and I said, Randy, if we make quicker episodes, then we can get more information out, and it'll keep the fans, wanting more.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue on, and let me check and see if there's any comments. Real quick. I haven't checked the comments in a while. Oh, Richie says, "Hi, Fears, LOL." Well, hey, Richie, hello. And Randall, we got 6 people watching, so wonderful. Wonderful. Randall, you have the best evil laugh ever. Go ahead and give the fans an evil laugh. Randall is losing his mind. All right, let's continue on. But yeah, to answer Moody's question, when you watch this, you dickhead, that is, I don't know how more clear I can be, Randall, on the powers. You know, he's got the power of flight, the power of flagellance, super strength, and the power of fear. Now, we may add some powers on Randall, later on in the series. Like I really want to rip off Superman. So of course I think we may have instead of how Superman has red laser beams shoot out of his eyes. Well, we may have Fearsman have yellow laser beams shoot out of his eyes. I haven't decided. I haven't decided if we're going to do that. But if we are going to do that, it's going to be in future episodes. And granted, guys, this is only the pilot episode. You know, so we're gonna change some stuff around. All right, let's continue on, Randall.
Now keep it playing. But like basically what I did is I looked up like stock footage of like a galaxy, like where like Star Trek, where you see out the window and the stars are moving. So
yeah, I love these stars.
Yeah. And like what I did is I just looped the video. So and then I put the titles over it. Now
Randall,
Randall,
I could barely hear you. Tell the fans, because the music's so loud. Tell the fans what you did. You found stars moving on YouTube, and then what did you do?
And then I looped the video. And basically, Fears wanted the big build-up from the beginning of the song, but you know, in future episodes, we're just going to start from da 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 da. Da, da, da. So it's going to be much shorter and very much condensed.
It's gonna be much shorter, and so we did. You know, we learned from our mistakes. Randy, we got a couple of comments here. The MMA host is here.
MMA host, you're gonna like this stream because you're coming up in a little bit. So.
Oh yes, we did a little teaser to the MMA host and to the wonderful, sexy Jessie Bell Hill. But MMA host is gonna be in the cartoon, right? I don't know if I'm gonna make him a villain or a hero, but you know, if you look at his icon, he's got glasses on and he's got a crown on. So we should make the MMA host like maybe a king of something. Like maybe he's like the king of a different planet and he comes to Earth or something to destroy Earth or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But the MMA host says, Brandy, I think he meant to say Randy, can you open one more button? I think he's talking about the buttons in the lab, Randall. Randall, I don't know what he's talking about.
He's talking about my shirt. The top button of this shirt fell off, so that's why.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Nice. Well, Randall, you know, show the chest hair.
Yeah.
Show the chest hair. The chest hair is a must.
Okay, so I think you minimized the cartoon, Fierce. So go ahead and.
I think I did. I did not mean to minimize the cartoon. And then Callie says something about, remember when Randy got a blowjob? I remember that. Randy, you told that story, and it was hilarious. It was pretty funny, Randy. Okay, so let's minimize the comments. But yeah, can you see the cartoon now, Randall?
No, I cannot.
All right, here, let me play it. Can you see it now?
Nope.
Really?
Really.
Uh-oh. Oh, wait, here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, you know what, Randall? I know what I did. Okay, hang on. Okay, here. Let me fix it. Okay, can you see me now, Randall?
I can see you now, yeah.
Okay, now I have to reshare. Okay.
Okay, well, while you're talking about that, so in future episodes, I'm just going to talk about Cameo Man while you fix everything. Future episodes of Cameo Man are coming up. I tried to make the concept very cool. It borrows from one of my favorite movies from 1984. I'm not going to say which one, but it's a 1984 movie. And
all right, can you see it now, Randall?
Yeah, we're back.
All right, go ahead, but go ahead and finish what you were saying.
So it's a 1984 movie.
Randall, I apologize to you and the fans for all the technical difficulties. This is the first time in a long time that Fears has shared a video. I used to do this all the time, kind of like what Raz did, and it's took me a minute, so I apologize. So sorry about all the mishaps, but go ahead, Randall.
So it's one of my favorite 1984 movies, and I gender swapped the roles. That's all I'm going to say, but roll that beautiful Fearsman footage.
Oh, and Randall, before we roll that footage, the wonderful, the talented, the sexy Jessie Bell Hill is here in the chat.
Awesome.
So wonderful, wonderful.
Well, Jessie, it is always good to see you, even when it is only your comments.
Yes. You know, Randy, I wonder if Jesse, I hope Jesse doesn't think like Fears is El Creepo when I say the wonderful, talented, and sexy Jesse Bill. I'm just giving credit where credit is due. She is, all right? You know, Jesse, we're good friends. I enjoy your content. So I hope you don't mind that I said that. Randall has more of a crush on you, you know, than anyone else does. So anyway, but no, Randall, you did give Jesse a great little kind of snippet cameo in here, and Chris, which we will get to. It's at the end. It's at the end of the cartoon, correct?
Correct.
All right. So keep the comments coming, guys. Every once in a while, I will open up the chat, and because I had to minimize the chat while we're watching the cartoon,
and I can see it now, Fears. So we're good.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, awesome. Well, so shout out to the Geo Dudes, Richie, Jesse Bell Hill, Callie, the MMA Holes. Nice. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
And we have, let's see, how many people watching, Randall?
If you stay in Fears and Randy's good graces, hey, you know what? You just might pop up in future episodes.
Randall, that was a nice nunk, by the way. That was good.
Yeah.
Stealing Fears and material, as always. That's all right. That's all right, Randall. I've stolen. You know how much material I've stolen for you, Randall, over the years.
I don't know.
All I have to say is film school, buddy. Remember those? I would look over at your computer screen and be like, "Oh, hey, that's nice, Randall. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and casually take that." And then you'd be like, "Oh yeah, Fierce. Oh yeah, Fierce. You're gonna take." He said, "Well, guess what, buddy? Oh, I'm gonna take yours."
Yeah.
That's what friends are for, buddy. You know, we shared each other's work. It was good, and we made those A's, and there it is. All right, let's continue on. Let's play now, Randy. Before we play this, I love the concept of this was a request for me. I just wanted an F, but Randy put a yellow egg behind it because Fearsman comes to Earth in an egg, or an egg-like ship. So whenever I saw this, when he first created this, I didn't expect that, Randall. So where did that concept come from? I mentioned the egg, right? But did you draw that?
Well,
did you draw that before?
That wasn't supposed to be an egg, Fears. I was thinking. Let's see, Freakazoid has the same kind of insignia, but he has like a rectangle. So I was like, we can't steal from Freakazoid, so it's got to be something different other than a rectangle. So I said, you know, let's make it a circle, and that's where it is. And Fierce was very specific, like, this is basically a satire of Superman, and he said, Randy, I want it exactly like Superman, And like,
I wanted the beginning credits to look like the opening of the 1970s Christopher Reeve Superman. But I said we're gonna do a parody of it. We're gonna do our own little version of it, and I guess it was a happy mistake, Randall, that you did that, because whenever I saw it, I thought you got the idea of, oh, well, I took the idea from Mork and Mindy. You know, like Mork and Mindy Mork comes to Earth in an egg ship, and I said, Randy, we'll take the egg ship out of Mork and Mindy. That show was made in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
I said, and we'll use that as Fearsman coming to Earth, and then you just did it, I guess, by happenstance. I thought you took it from my idea of Mork and Mindy and put it behind the F, but okay.
But there, if you look in the Fearsman episode, there are a ton of egg shapes all peppered throughout the animation.
Yeah, and we'll get to it. So let's play this. And I hope the fans are enjoying the commentary. I apologize for the technical difficulties. We will get better at this because, Rand, I think we should do commentary over each episode, like whenever we do it.
Yeah.
So I think we'll do commentary over episode 2 and all that good stuff. All right, let's continue on. All right, let us play and enjoy, my wonderful fans.
Now, I was actually the one that came up with the subtitle "The Adventure Begins" because
yes, you were.
I had a lot of like I said, I did like 2 trailers and a teaser trailer, and I had a lot of Fearsman files on my computer. So I needed a way to like separate the Fearsman, the first episode, from all the other things. So I put Fearsman TAB for The Adventure Begins.
Yeah, because at first, Rando, I just said, "Hey, Rando, I think we should just call it, Fearsman cartoon pilot episode." And you're like, "Well, Fears, they're like, usually a cartoon has the name of an episode." And I was like, "Yeah, that's true." I'm like, "What could we call it?" And Randy was like, "Well, Fears, you can still say it's the pilot episode, but then put a little dash and say what the name of the episode is." And so I was like, "Randy, I can't think of anything. I'm having kind of a brain fart." Like come up with something.
My first idea was Fearsman Begins, but Fears was like, that sounds too close to Batman Begins. So
yeah, and so because I didn't want to. We are going to parody a lot of superheroes. Like Randy had a great idea. Like Fears, what if Fearsman puts together his own Justice League? Like Sega's in it as the Werecamp, and Jason can be in it as Mr. Cool Man. And I was like, oh, that's perfect, Randall. And
yeah.
and so since Jason's last name is Cool, Jason Cool, I thought about having him his power Randall be he's kind of like Sub-Zero out of Mortal Kombat. He shoots ice, like he's all cold and stuff. But yeah. Randall, before we continue on, Jessie Bill Hill has a question.
Okay.
And she says, when is episode 2 coming out? Episode 2.
There's going to be.
Well, I think you should. I think you should tell her that there's going to be 2 episodes of Cameo Man and then Fearsman. So tell her how long. The Cameo Man episodes will be, and tell her why we're doing Cameo Man first before Fearsman.
Okay, here is the deal. I have written the first episode of Cameo Man. It's going to be 5 minutes long. I separated it up into 3 acts. The first act takes place in an office. The second act takes place in an elevator, and the third act takes place in Cameo Man's uncle, who is a billionaire's office. And if I can't get Cameo Man, if I can't get the full cartoon done in a week, or no, 6 weeks, I'm just gonna cut the elevator scene and the office scene, and it's just gonna be the office scene, because that scene is a pivotal scene and has effects on all the other scenes around it. So probably you're gonna see another Fearsman in about 3 months.
In about 3 months, because the reason why that is, Jesse, and the rest of the fans is because I don't want Randall to just do Fearsman cartoons. And Randall, we kind of explained this in the last vlog, And guys, if you haven't seen it yet, I recorded my dialogue in the last Fearsman. in the last Fears vlog for this cartoon that Randy's talking about. The reason why we do it is because Randy has the opportunity. I want him to have the opportunity to have projects of his own on his own channel. So
yeah, because
Randy
while I was doing the Fearsman episode, I kind of I did a Hooters video, but if you look at my Cameo Man stream, or not my Cameo Man stream, but if you look at my channel, I have very little of my own work that I did myself, So
yeah, and Randy should have the opportunity to, make his own projects. And so I said, Randy, here's the deal. I said, how about, you get 2 projects, I get 2 projects. And so what we do is we bounce back and forth. So and that's the only fair way to do it, because I don't want to take advantage of Randall, guys. So I'd say, let's see, it's May. I'd say what, August, Randall, you'll probably see the next Cameo Man. The next Fearsman.
Yeah, the next Fearsman, yeah.
So yeah,
and remember, Fears plays Cody. So you're going to get more Fears.
Yeah,
and like I said, I like to get Cameo Man out to as many people as possible. So Fears is going to upload the Cameo Man stuff on his channel too.
Yeah, and I do, because Randy gives me the opportunity to upload those, because, Randy said, hey, Randy, I actually am voicing, a character in your cartoon, and I always ask Randy permission, like, hey, do you mind if I upload this to my channel? And Randy says, yeah, Fears, no worries, we're partners. So, yeah. Oh, Randy says, Geodude says, I do not agree with my likeness being used. Geodudes, it's happening. You are going to be Cool Man in Fears' Justice League. So, yeah, I have to get my buddy in there from acting, from acting school. Not acting school, from film school. So, Jason, you have absolutely no say. And if you guys, I'm sorry, Jason. God damn, Randall, that is an evil laugh. That is crazy. Randall is an evil. Randall, you're going to play a great milkman. You are playing. Randall, you are playing the evil milkman. Just give the fans a taste. Do the evil laugh and say, "Have some milk, Fearsman."
Have some milk, man.
I can't wait, Randall. I cannot wait to see. I cannot wait to see Milkman throw milk on Fearsman and have Fears' body like glow yellow. And
you know, we still haven't figured out the origin of the Milkman, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah.
Not yet. We will figure out, because the Milkman, in my eyes, is the Lex Luthor. It has to be the Lex Luthor of the Fearsman kind of origin. All right. Anyway, I don't want to lose any more people, because we did have 10 people and now we have 7. So let's get back to watching it. And yeah, Richie says that's pretty good. Richie says he loves the. Richie said he loves the laugh, Randall. So, all right, let's continue. Let's continue on. But we have a lot to say, guys. So we're gonna try and answer all your guys' questions and give you all the details. All right, Randall, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. That is a nice planet, Randall. I'm liking that. Yeah. And I specifically said, Randall, everything in this cartoon, there has to be a lot of yellow and blue, because that's Fearsman's color. So, of course, Randall had the whole planet yellow. And may the bung be. Yeah. Yep. May the bung be with you. Now, of course, that is an Easter egg in itself. I do have Crohn's, and so I didn't know at first, Randall, it was actually your idea to call it Chronopolis. I was having such a hard time coming up with his planet. Because Metropolis is Clark Kent's city that he goes to become a reporter at the Daily Planet. So I said, well, what if we took Metropolis and kind of messed with it a little bit, and then I
came up with Chronopolis, and I said, why don't we call that the city? And he's like, no, I want St. Louis to be the city, but we can use Chronopolis for the planet.
Yeah, because I wanted to use St. Louis because I'm from St. Louis, so I said, all right, whenever Fearsman comes to Earth, he's going to get a job in St. Louis. But I'm telling you guys, I had such a hard time coming up with Chronopolis. Like, at first I was like, I said, Randy, the sign should say, welcome to Chronos, welcome to Crohn's, welcome to...
and I was like, you can't use Kronos, Fears, because Kronos is the Klingon homeworld.
Yeah, exactly. And then I was like, and I didn't want to steal the. I mean, we could have stolen it out of Star Trek, Randall. I don't think anyone would have noticed. But I was like, I want to come up with.
We took a good 6 weeks to come up with the names of the cities.
Yeah. I mean, already I knew that Fearsman was going to go to St. Louis. That was already done deal. But I had such a hard time with this, guys. And literally, Randy, how many versions do you think of the actual name that do you think that I came up with? Like at least 10, right?
We both came up with a lot. My idea, and I was pushing really hard for this, was Feartopia.
Yeah, and I didn't want to do Feartopia because because in the first episode he doesn't know if he wants to become a superhero. And that's why whenever he saves people at the end, they're like, hey, Mask Avenger, or whatever the hell your name is. Like, what is your name? And Fearsman is like, I don't know what my name is. I don't even know if I want to be a superhero. Just, I couldn't stand around and let those people die in the fire. I have to help out, And so, like I said, Randy said, a good 6 weeks. Finally, Randall said, Fears, I think I got it. You called me, Randall, and you said, all right, you said, Fears, let's take the end of Metropolis, and then you have Crohn, so how about Chronopolis? And I was like, that is genius, Randall. So, Randall, I thank you for that. It was amazing.
All right.
It was amazing, Randall. And then the bung, may the bung be with you. That is an Easter egg. My buddy Trent has came up with this. With this, I don't know how you describe it, Randall. It's his own little language, guys. Like bung, chung, zung, rung, all of that. All of that. And Trent made a actual request. He said, Fears, can you put bung and chung in the cartoon? Because I'm begging you. And I'm like, oh, Trent. I'm like, it's gonna be Chronopolis's like language on their planet. So like whenever we do flashback sequences, Randall, like we're gonna have somebody like walking down a hallway like in Chronopolis and then be like, bung. And then like all of a sudden someone's gonna be like,
originally on this sign, what I did is I put it, I'm a Jehovah's Witness, so I put in like, you know, I wanted to put in an alien language. So what I actually did is I looked up some of the Aramaic from some of the Watchtower, and I put some of the Aramaic symbols for Jehovah in the on the sign. And like, Piers was like, "Hey, Randy, what did those symbols mean?" And I was like, "Well, those symbols."
I had no idea
the
what the
bung may
symbols.
be with you, Fears. And he's like, "No, just put the bung may be with you. Get rid of those signs."
Well, I just didn't want to make fun of anyone's religion.
No, you weren't making fun of it. You were putting Jehovah's name on your sign. It would have been a.
I know.
It would have been a great,
Yeah, I know,
great
Randall.
look.
I know, Randall, but I'm not a Jehovah's Witness. And then if someone watched this, I didn't want to do anything with religion because, you know, people can take that the wrong way. And the last thing I wanted to do was offend anyone. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah. And then also,
But,
Fears was concerned with people just wouldn't understand it. So.
Yeah, and I'm like, plus I wanted to keep the sign simple. Chris says, Fears, can you stand up and yell the MMA holes? Chris, I will do that at the very end of the cartoon, buddy. So stay tuned. Fears will stand up and say the MMA holes. All right, Randall, let's continue on. Let us continue on. So, Randall, I think we got all the Easter eggs in this, didn't we?
Yeah. Now,
okay, all right,
the shot of the city coming up, keep it playing. This shot of the city took so long to do. It was really hard.
But it's a good shot, Randall. I mean, this took you what 2 weeks to do this shot? I think.
Maybe more like
at least, right?
3 weeks. Yeah, around 3 weeks. Because Fears just wanted more and more detail on the city. He was like, do more detail, and I was like, okay. And then yeah.
Well, what it is
it paid off. It paid off.
It paid off. I wanted to build up the city because you only get a quick glimpse of the city. And Randall said, Fears, I'm going to have it shoot into Will L's laboratory. And I said, that's perfect, Randall. I said, have the doors open and you see Will L like walk across. But I said, you should build up like his laboratory should be at the very end on the outskirts of the planet, and it's on a hillside. And Randy said, well, Fears, I could build it up. I could show buildings, and we could whiz through buildings and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's perfect. And that's what Randy did. And I got to say, it came out fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's continue. Let's continue on. Randy, I mean, my hat's off to you. Randy, this is phenomenal. I could never do this without Randy, guys. I don't know how to animate. So be sure to put a 1 in the comments, for congratulating Randy. So if Randy did a good job, guys, go ahead and throw a 1, in the comments, in the chat. Randy, I can't thank you enough for this. I really can't, and I'm so looking forward to episode 2.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue on.
Now, pause it.
Randy, I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question. Who, that guy in the background here? Let me back it up a little bit. You know that guy in the water? Who is that guy? Like, I know you said that was supposed to be an Easter egg. Like it was supposed to be like Will L was doing an experiment, and didn't you say it's supposed to be Mark Hamill? From The Empire Strikes Back when he's in that water container.
I said that's where I got the idea from. But if you look in the background, there's like an eyeball droid in the background, and then there's like the guy with the like little in the fluid. I was thinking like I had an idea for a villain called Drainiac, but I looked up Drainiac and there's already a villain called that. But like I was thinking like, I could put a lot of things in the background that could come up in later episodes. And like maybe that person in the fluid escaped somehow, or he was protected from the lava by the cold fluid. So I was thinking of like, future episodes like where all these things would come back. Yeah.
Yeah, because Randy loves doing that. If you guys watch the Cameo Man episodes, Randy builds off of stuff in the background. So he'll add like somebody walking through a scene in the background, and like the guy in the background opens up a broom closet, and it could lead into like a villain in the next Cameo Man episode. So Randy's really good at that. And I said, Randy, you have a ball and you go ballistic and go nuts. Put whatever you want in the background. I gave Randy kind of a detailed version of what I thought Will-El's laboratory. I said it should have a bunch of yellow crystals because on Superman's home planet there was tons of clear crystals, and I said, well, since his costume and since their society loves blue and yellow, because blue and yellow are two of my favorite colors, I said, Randy, I said, just go nuts and put yellow crystals everywhere. And then I said,
we went nuts with blue and yellow. And if you look at the guy in the fluid is blue. And if you look at the little eyeball in the background, the eyeball is blue.
Yeah.
And then the crystals are yellow.
So that's going to be, in future episodes, you're going to see blue and yellow a lot. And because I just thought that'd be a funny little anecdote, and all that.
Yeah, a lot of the color choices in the episode were based on blue and yellow.
Yeah. MMA Ho says, am I watching the director's cut of the cartoon? You were watching the commentary, MMA Ho's. The MMA Ho's. Oh, Randall, did you know that the MMA Ho's hit 10,000? That is fucking wonderful. That is wonderful. That is fucking wonderful. One last thing.
One last thing. The actress who plays Helena in this, she actually did the original Fearsman trailer where she goes, "Somebody help me." She did that for free. So hats off to Giselle Marie.
Exactly.
She did the trailer for free. We had to pay her for this one, but she was a tremendous voice actress. But the thing is, Helena's dialogue in this scene is very limited because when you hire voice actors, they charge you by the word. So, she gave us 100 words.
Yeah,
so
and we
actually had to cut her roll down a little bit to make sure we only had 100 words. So
and I told Randall, I said, if you have to cut her thing down, like her part down, I said, you got to get all of the important stuff in that 100 words.
Yeah.
So whenever me and Randall have more money, we told, what's her name, Randall? Giselle, right?
Giselle Marie, yeah.
Giselle, I said, Giselle, your part will be bigger and better in future episodes whenever me and Randy have more money, because me and Randy split this, and I told Randy whenever I eventually get more money, I am taking Randy out to dinner to repay him for this cartoon. I'm just trying to find a job right now, but Randy, that dinner is coming, I promise you.
Yep.
And I'm a man of my word. And you know what was funny is the reason why she did it for free, guys, and Randy can back me up on this, Randy sent her the script, and I remember a conversation. Didn't you say, Randy, she wrote you back and said, I don't mind doing this for free because I like the idea. I like the project idea.
Yeah. And also, her part in the trailer is just 2 sentences. And I think it was like a maximum of 15 words. It was like, somebody help my baby, and then thank you, Fearsman.
Yeah, but she also said that's one reason why I'm doing it for free, because it's just, a little lines. But she said I'm also doing it because I actually like the concept of the idea. I like that you guys are parodying. She goes, I like that you guys are making a new superhero that no one's ever seen. And she was like, I like that you're kind of, doing a parody version of yourself and blah, blah, blah.
And she dug the script that we sent her, and she was like, yeah, I'll do it.
And I can't thank her. I can't thank her enough. So anyway, let's continue on. And Randy, let's wait until the space scene to say anything else. And because I want to get through this because everybody has got stuff to do today. So we're trying to get through this, but I don't want to leave anything out. So if we have to go a little longer, we will, because we actually at 5:30 tonight, guys, we're doing a drawing, and the great Sega Camp will be on, and we're going to be doing a Mortal Kombat version of the drawing streams. All right, let's continue on.
Oh, yes.
Now, Randall, if you look, there is an Easter egg in here. I told Randall to deliberately write random control panel right? Correct, Randall?
Yeah, and you know the buttons that like I had the button being pushed in. Now what I could have done is I could have just had him poke the button and it didn't get pushed in. But when you see it coming up, it actually gets pushed in. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know that was another thing that Moody was bitching about. He goes, "Why are all these buttons random?" And he goes, "And why would you have like a speaker button, you know, near the egg ejection button? It's called a joke. It's called a joke, you fucking moron." You know, and I couldn't believe he didn't get it. Either he was being a smartass Randall about it, which he always is because he's a fucking idiot, or he was just making fun of our cartoon. He's like, "Hey man, why is there a base by the egg ejection button?" It's called a parody. It's called a cartoon. That's how dim-witted that freaking idiot is. So I just laughed at it. I was like, this guy is the most pathetic loser in the universe. All right. Anyway, let's continue on. Yeah, beat that, Moody. Suck it. Randall, I'm digging the curl. I'm digging the curl on the baby and on Willell.
Yeah.
Classic Clark Kent.
Keep it going, but like when I was a kid, I was a huge fan of Superman, and whenever my mom would get my hair cut, she would make sure that I had that like little S curve that Superman had.
Well, sometimes it's hard to hear you, Randall, because of the audio. So whenever you do have something important to say, I've been kind of like pausing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I can hear you a little bit on the audio because this is the first time we've been doing this. But yeah, you said whenever you would get your hair cut, your mom would always give you that curl.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I was a big fan of Superman back then. Like,
I'm a big Superman fan. The MMA host says we need a sign language person in the corner so we know what's going to be said in the cartoon. I guess they can't hear the audio. Maybe because I'm playing the cartoon through my speakers, so I can hear it. But that's the only way I can do it. I think like next time we do this, Randall, I may do it at my house. So the audience can hear.
I think what the audience is hears is everything through your mic. It's not hearing it through your speakers.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll do closed captions next time.
Yeah. We can. Well, we can do that. Or, well, like I said, you don't have to do closed captioning. We can just I'll just unplug my my mic because I'm wearing my headphones because I don't want to interrupt anyone in the coffee shop. And I could sit on my bed and we can review episode 2. So Geodude says, "Is this a cartoon review or a rant?" It's a commentary, and Geodudes. I was just standing up for me and Randy. Moody said all these horrible, evil things, so I was just setting the record straight. So yeah, there it is. All right, let's continue on, Randall.
Yeah.
But Randall, good job on the random control panel. I love that. That was a special request for me. I remember when I asked you about that?
It was really difficult to get it slanted like that because I do everything in MS Paint.
Yeah.
And
I never told you to slant it like that. I just said, just make a random control panel. And then I said, you know what, Randall? I said, you know how like Batman has everything labeled, in the 1960s version? I said, well, on Chronopolis, I said, we should establish that everything has a sign on it. But I said, you only see a little bit of Chronopolis, but whenever we do flashback sequences, like Randall, I've got this scene like where on Chronopolis they go and use this bathroom. It should be the official Chronopolis men's bathroom, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I told Randall, put random control panel on there, and it came out.
Keep it going because I got more stuff.
Okay, continue. Well, let me know when you want to pause because
actually, I went the extra mile when I was finishing up the final edit, and don't go back. But if you go back, you can actually see Helena blinking her eyes. I put eye blinks in there.
Mm-hmm.
Fears it just minimized again. I can't see the cartoon.
Oh crap! I'm so sorry, guys. I meant to minimize the chat. Hang on.
But yeah.
Oh Lord. All right, here. Let me play it. Can you see it now?
No, I cannot.
Oh shit. Well, give me a second.
I'll keep everybody. I'll do a little updates for things. Now, one of the things that I've been saying I'm going to do for a long time, I am going to do magic for Jesse Bell Hill. I
Oh
got
yeah.
a trick. I've got the trick figured out. I just need to set a date and time. But we need to have like some other subject because the trick at max is going to take 5 minutes. And
And
then also, I do have a
Randy,
Hooters plug coming up.
Randy, we have to have Jessie Bill Hill back on the show. I think she really enjoyed the drawing stream, so we'll have her back on for that. And then you should do a live stream where it's just magic on your channel, and you just do magic for her. That'd be kind of cool.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so can you see it now?
Yes, I can see it now. Okay.
Okay, all right. Anyway, I'm so sorry, guys. Like I said, this is my first time doing this in a while, so I apologize. So let's continue on. The bung.
Will be with you. And you said when I voiced this, you said, Randy, that was epic. That was
epic. It was. Randy, I'm telling you, like, I didn't get goosebumps or anything, but I was laughing because you turn around and you're like, I made the bung be with you. And Randy took his role super serious, guys. I mean, Randy, you put your heart and freaking soul into this damn thing.
Yeah. And
okay,
like,
so
when
I
was acting, I specifically said, okay, now I don't want to be too loud because I'm talking to a baby. So like, if I'm talking to a baby, I kind of got to be like calm and, have a soft
and this scene is based off the 1970s, scene, where, I forgot Superman's father's name. Oh, Jor-El. It's the Jor-El scene, and Jor-El was portrayed by Marlon Brando, and he did a fantastic job. On that performance. And I said, Randy, kind of base your performance off of his, but I said, don't copy his, but do your own version of it. And Randy said, well, Fears, for a week, I'm going to prepare. And you watched that. You said for a week you watched that that clip on YouTube over and over and over again to try and get his, what he was thinking, how he did it, how he moved, so you could animate the character like that. And when I watched, I was like, Randy, you couldn't have done a better job. I mean, it was epic. All right, so here's what Moody was saying. This is supposed to be, and I don't mean to bring him up, but he really kind of made me mad, Randall, with that, with that commentary, because there was no need for it, because he was just being an ass about it. Tell the reason about this joke. We wanted jokes in it. It's obviously it's a parody, but
now originally I didn't tell Fears what I was going to put on there. I just said, yeah, Fears, I'll figure something out. So like,
and I told him, I said, just have some random buttons. I said, and make them funny. I said, the only one I requested, Randall, was the egg ejection because we needed that one for the cartoon.
Yeah, and like when I animate, when I'm just doing like drawing pictures, I listen to tons of like MP3s and like motivational tapes, and like I listen to my favorite music. So like when Fears asked this, I was like looking over and I saw my little boombox, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if like that boombox had the same like buttons on it as like the wouldn't it be funny if those buttons had the same thing that are on my boombox? So I said put bass, treble, MP3 play.
And I thought that was funny. I thought it was really funny. And I don't get what
I was worried that Fears wasn't gonna like it. I was like,
no, I loved it. I thought it was hilarious, Randall. And I don't get why Moody had such a big problem with it. Like, why the hell would you have like an egg ejection like near freaking treble and bass? It's a fucking cartoon. It's supposed to be funny, you stupid piece of shit. My God. It doesn't matter. It's in a universe that, it's a cartoon universe. We can do whatever the hell we want. If I want a clown in the background, licking ice cream while he's sitting on the toilet, I can have that in the background because it's my goddamn cartoon. Like, Randall, now that I said that, we have to put that in the cartoon. We have to have some clown. We have to have some clown in the background, like he's just sitting on the toilet, just like licking ice cream. Like maybe Fearsman goes to use that bathroom and he opens the stall and he's like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry, my bad. Here, I didn't know that you were using this restroom." So yeah. But if you look at the detail of this picture, Randy showed me an earlier version of this picture, and it wasn't as detailed as this. And he said, "Fears, don't worry. I've got more detail on this." And Randall, when you showed me this picture, I was like, my God, this is awesome. And the reason why Randy put those blue buttons on the side, he said, "Oh, don't worry, Fierce." He goes, "The reason why I didn't label those is because we're going to do a flashback sequence in future episodes. We're going to show you what is on those blue buttons." So, heck yeah. All right, let's continue on. Let us continue. Let me see if there's any more. All right, there's no new comments. All right, let's continue on, Randall. Randy, I like that that glass breaking. That was pretty good.
Yeah. That was one thing that took a long time to do. Now we went like through 500 different versions of this lava sequence.
This had many different versions, and this whole sequence, Randall, how long did it take you this entire sequence of the planet being destroyed by lava? It had to have been what? Like
it was one of the longest sequences, and what's funny is it only takes like 10 seconds of the animation.
But it's worth that 10 seconds though, because you just see the whole planet being destroyed. And Randy said, "Fears, I'm going to put some people in Chronopolis like running for their lives, and they just get burnt to a crisp." And Randy found all of these great sound effects of lava. That footage of the lava, that's actual lava footage that Randall found. I don't know where he found it, but he found it.
Keep playing it, Fears. Keep playing it. I want to show you one shot that took forever for me to figure out. Keep playing it.
Well, Randall, I guess your audio will come out because only I can hear the audio and the audience can't hear the audio. So yeah, go ahead and talk. Like I said, guys, I'm sorry. This is my first time in a long time I've been doing this. I used to screen share stuff all the time, Randall, and so yeah, I apologize. Yeah, go ahead and talk, Randall.
Now there's a scene coming up that took me forever to figure out how to do because right there. Fears wanted like the lava coming over all the buildings, and I was like, Fears, I don't know. Now a lot of the times when Fears asks for stuff, like in my mind, I'm like, I have no idea how I'm going to do this. You know,
the thing is, Randall, is though you're such a good animator. I basically tell Randall, okay, Randall, this is the idea I was thinking. What if, like, after they're running, you just see a wide shot of the planet, and the whole planet is just being consumed with lava. And he said, well, Fears, I can do that. He goes, but it'll be hard to take out the street lights. And so I said, well, fine. I don't care about the street lights, Randall.
And like the street lights would be still there in reality if lava was going through there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, eventually the street lights would fall down, but I said, well, that's fine, Randall. And normally it has to do with a lot of trust. Randall's like, Fears, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I will find a way. Give me a week or two, and I'll figure it out. And so I leave Randall alone for a week or two, and then he shows it to me. Randy eventually figures it out, and then I say, Randy, I don't know how you did that, but that was fucking awesome.
Yeah, and like, we didn't post these, but there were several different versions of a lot of sequences in here, and like, for example, you know, when you see the egg and the door comes down, like Fears didn't like the first 4 sound effects that I did. So I'm like, okay, what about this sound effect? What about this sound effect? And then on the 5th one, it was like, perfect, that's it.
I do apologize. Sometimes Fears is a stickler about things, but the only reason why I'm a stickler is because I wanted it to be, you know, amazing. And Randall actually thanked me and said, Fears, I'm glad that you were a stickler about it because it came out fantastic. He goes, I would have just picked the first one, but I kept hunting and found an even better one. A perfect example, Randall. You know, when we were trying to find sound effects when Fears whizzes through the, the revolving door and turns into Fearsman?
Yeah.
We could not find a sound effect for the wind sound of the...
Yeah, there's no spinning door effect. But then, like, I thought to myself, wait a minute. There's a scene in The Mask where the mask goes, you know, he turns into the mask, and there's, like, this crowd, and then, like, he goes to the band, and he spins the guy around in the band, and it makes this, like, little sound. Yeah. And, like, I used that sound effect.
Wow. Randall, I heard that.
What was that?
I heard the thunder.
Hold on, dude.
No, that's all right.
It sounded like a fucking explosion. Okay, so it was obviously just lightning, but like we use that
Randall,
sound effect.
what if it would have been an explosion? Why, right while we were doing our commentary, and like lightning struck your window, and like lightning came through the window and like burned those books like right behind you or something. That would have been nuts.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
That mass sound effect, that was the only sound effect that was the first time that we didn't use any other sound effects, and it fit in perfectly.
It fit perfectly. It just as Randall, I was like, I've never been near lava. I've never seen lava in real life. I don't know what lava sounds like, you know, except for what you see and hear, you know, like when you see lava like in movies and stuff. Yeah. So I said, just do your best. He showed me a couple of sound effects, and the last one you showed me, I was like, that's perfect, Randall. Because he goes, well, Fears, he goes, you're only going to slightly hear the lava sound because we've got, you know, intense music over it. And I was like, we should be good then. All right, let's continue on. Let us continue. All right. All right. Randy, I think people are enjoying the commentary. You know,
yeah.
And I appreciate everybody's, you know, participation. Keep asking those questions in the comments. We will get back to you guys' questions. All right, let's continue on. Randy found all this space scenes. I mean, this was great stuff.
Yeah.
And Randy, wherever you found all this space footage, when the minute you showed this to me, I was like, this is phenomenal.
Yeah. Because I thought, you know, like, he'd be traveling through a few black holes. On the way there.
Like this, like that shot right here. Let me rewind it. Let me rewind it. Right. Okay. Now watch this. I'll tell you where my favorite shot comes up. Now watch this. Not this part. This is one of my favorite shots in the whole cartoon. And Randy found this footage.
You know what's funny, Fears?
Hang on, Randall. Right here. Hang on. This part. Right there. That's my favorite shot leading into this shot. That is amazing.
You know what's funny, Fears? This shit is screensavers. Some of these things are just screensavers.
Well, Randall, thank God you used them because these are amazing screensavers, and it worked well in our cartoon.
Yeah. Fears didn't know that until like 10 seconds ago. A lot of these shots of space,
I really didn't.
I typed in screensaver, like space universe screensaver, and there you go.
And Randall, I did not know that they were screensavers, and thank God you used them. Well, Randall, you know, the next time, you know, we have a space scene, find those epic screensavers, buddy, because they work well. They work well.
Yeah.
Randall, you're a genius. You're a genius. There it is. Lord Randall. Lord Randall is thine genius. Using those screensavers, cutting those corners. No, I'm just joking, Randall. You didn't cut any corners. All right, let's continue on.
So now if you look at the front shots, don't pause it, Fears, but if you look at the front shots of Fears Baby, he actually goes through a progression. He actually, you know, gets older and older.
I wanted him to start as a baby, and didn't we, Randall? Didn't we decide on he goes from an infant to about what, 8 years old?
Yeah, around that.
So by the time he gets to Earth, he's about 8 years old, and then his American, I'm sorry, not his Earth parents, Helen and John Clark, find him.
Yeah. And
then the story continues on from there. And again, Randall, you put the little kind of Fears comb over on the baby with the little curl. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are awesome screensavers, Randall. So did you literally just write in, like you went to YouTube and just wrote in computer screensavers?
I put in like moving through space stock footage, but some of these are just screensavers.
So you used a little bit of both. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Well,
it's really hard to find like stock footage and like pictures without like watermarks on them, without like
Yeah.
the little shutter stock thing. Now this shot right here, oh, it got minimized again, Fears.
Oh, God damn it.
Don't worry.
I'm
But-
sorry, Randall. I keep trying to like see if there's any more rants, and I accidentally keep minimizing the freaking cartoon. I'm so sorry, guys. My bad.
That's
Okay, hang on.
But yeah, let me. I'll set it up while you're bringing it back. So basically, sometimes, occasionally, I would play practical jokes on Fears.
Oh,
Like
yes.
I would send him something that I thought he would totally hate, and he actually ends up like liking it. Like for example, the button one. I thought he was going to hate the bass treble. I thought he was going to be like, change that, Randy. I don't like it. And he actually liked it, and we used it.
I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was a funny
Yeah.
joke.
Yeah.
And then Randy actually rickrolled me. He rickrolled me. And I said, Randy, I said, because I'm half British, and I said, my mom loves Rick Ashley, or however you say that guy's last name. How do you say that guy's last name?
Rick Astley. And I thought he was going to hate it. I kind of like, you know, was taking a jab at Fears, and I was like, what if I?
No, I love his
Fears?
music.
What if I rickrolled Fears? And
I was like, I love that guy's music. I love his music. My mom loves his music. I was like, Randy, put that in the sequence when, you know, Willow, it gives Fears, you know, Fearsman some historical footage, you know, to help him, adjust to, you know, Earth life.
Yeah.
Earth, I can't even talk, Earth life. And that was another thing that Moody did not get. I'm like, Jarrell kind of does that in the original Superman. He doesn't show him historical footage. He shows him, or he tells him about the Earth's culture in those, you know, in those crystals. And you hear Jarrell like talking to Superman inside his capsule. That's kind of what we did. But I said, hey, instead of audio, Randall, let's just show him some movies and some historical footage. I don't get how he did not get that.
I went through a lot of footage, and like basically what I tried to do is I tried to pick the most famous footage of all time. So we took the most historical thing, a couple of historical things like the moon landing, Martin Luther King's speech, and then Randy said, of course, Fears, we got to put some of our favorite movies in there. One of my favorite is there's an episode of Wile E. Coyote. I love Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. I always have since I was a little kid. And I said, Randall, I said, there is a Wile E. Coyote episode where he dresses up like Batman, except his bat costume is not black and yellow like the traditional Batman. I said it's green because I think Wile E. Coyote's favorite color, Randall, in those cartoons is green. So he wears like a green kind of Batman costume. And it has wings on it, and he's trying to fly across the canyon. But he almost makes it, but he doesn't know that there's like a wall here, and he just smashes into it. And then, of course, in a cartoon, they can't make Wile E. Coyote die, so he just gets hurt a lot. And then the Roadrunner always leaves. And then I can see it on you, Fears.
I haven't brought up the cartoon yet, Randall, but because we were talking, but. Yeah, let's get back to the cartoon. But yeah, so Randall picked out some of his favorite movies. Now, Randall, which ones I forgot? Tell the audience while I'm setting this up. Which were the ones that you picked out, and which were the ones that I picked out? Because I honestly can't remember.
I picked out the Nightmare on Elm Street one because you know, even when I was a little kid, like 5 or 6, I watched some like pretty rated R movies. Like I was watching the original RoboCop at 6. I was watching when I was 6. I was watching Freddy and Jason at 6. Not Freddy versus Jason, but I was watching Nightmare on Elm Street at 6, Jason at 6. So, you know, basically the cable box raised me. So.
Randall, and yeah, the TV raised me too. And Kit, we have the great Sega Camp Gamer in here.
All right.
So yeah, Sega says, and now they ditched the 2D animation Fears. I have ones today where they did bleep to 3D computer animation. Well, see, Randall can't do 3D animation because he only has the program for 2D. I wish he had 3D animation. Maybe one day, when you get some more money, Randall, like the cartoons of Fearsman can be 3D. How epic would that be?
That would be epic.
So one of these days, guys, we're gonna get to some 3D animation, but Sega, we can only do what we can do. But and Sega is gonna look so much better in the future of cartoons. And Randall always tries to up the ante on the cartoons. Like he said, Fears. He goes, "You thought Fearsman #1 is awesome." He goes, "Just wait till episode 2." He's like, "The drawings are going to be even 10 times more epic." I'm like, "Randy, you do your thing, buddy." I'm like, "I love episode 1."
With every animation, I try to outdo myself.
Yeah. Oh, Sega says, I mean the Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner Fears. It's 3D computer animation. Oh yeah. So yeah, now they got rid of the 2D cartoons, Randall, and now we have 3D. So I love Wile E. Coyote. So shout out to the Geo dudes. And he says, "Can we have a moment of silence for the lost lives of Santa Fe High School?" Randall, what happened with those guys?
I do not know.
Well, since he said a high school, maybe it's another school shooting. Which, if it is, that really sucks. So yeah. So Randall, let's just do 30 seconds for them, and get back to the cartoon. All right, that should be enough, Randall.
Okay.
All right. Well, if that I didn't hear about the Santa Fe school guys, but if that's what happened, that's terrible. So, yeah. All right, let's continue on. So Randall, I'm going to reshare this. I'm so sorry that I accidentally minimized it. We'll get back to the cartoon. And all right, can you see it now, Randall?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So let me just minimize the.
Oh no! Wait, it's you. It's the chat, and it just got minimized again.
Son of a bitch! Oh my god, this is fucking pissing me off. I swear to Christ.
We like.
Give me a second, Randall. I know I like Christ, Randall. Just as I'm trying to figure this out, and it's so freaking retarded.
I don't even know how to do it, Furious. So you're light years ahead of me.
Well, it's a little button that you have to. It's so fucking so dumb. It just takes.
And I don't know if I'll be able to do it on my computer because you've got a Mac. I've got a PC and stuff.
I don't. I'm sure you can do it on a PC, Randall. It just is. It's very touchy because you have to keep the Fearsman cartoon up. But whenever I bring the chat up, sometimes I click the wrong one, and I apologize. And that's what's pissing me off because I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like, I just want the goddamn cartoon to come back up.
Now, Sega Camp his screen name is Sega Camp and Where Camp Gamer now?
It's the Sega Camp Gamer and Where Camp because sometimes he turns into the Where Camp. So.
Oh, really?
Okay, so, all right, here we go.
Now it's on you. All
right, so what we're going to do is now I have the cartoon up in the background. I hate this crap. That's why I like to keep things simple. I hate all this technology. That's why they're like, hey, Fears, why don't you just get an iPod? Screw an iPod. I hate iPod. I got my CDs. I just want to keep it simple. I just want to play my CDs in my CD player. I'm old school. That's why I don't have the patience sometimes for this crap, Randall. You know what I mean? So I apologize, guys. I apologize, guys, for this rant, for Fears' rant. I apologize. Okay, so Randy, it should be on the cartoon. Do you see the cartoon?
It is on the cartoon now, yes.
All right, thank God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right, I apologize, guys. And how many people is watching this, Randall?
I don't know.
Oh, we have 9. Okay, we have 9 people watching. Okay, so we gained some more. All right, let's continue on. So yeah, so Randall, the request, I did make a request. I was like, Randy, I'm like, I know you were trying to, not troll me. You weren't trying to troll me, Randall, but you were trying to, and Randy actually did Rickroll me. It was so good. And Randy, I actually uploaded that video to my channel, and I Rickrolled my entire audience. So, so the video that Randall sent me, I actually just said, well, the joke's on you, Randall. I said, because I'm uploading that, and people are going to get a kick out of it.
And we're using it. That's what I said. We're using it.
Yeah, I said, oh, we're using it, Randall. And he goes, what do you mean, Fears? I said, oh, we're using it in the cartoon. He's like, what, you want to put a Rickroll in the cartoon? I'm like, oh, yes. I'm like, we're putting a Rickroll. I said, but I said, it's not going to be a long Rickroll. I said, and he's like, well, Fears, where the hell are we going to put that? I said, in the historical documents that Fearsman watches in the capsule. I said, we'll just put a little tiny episode of Rickroll, you know, doing his little dance, you know, doing his little shuffle in the most ridiculous 80s music video of all time. Yeah. So there it is. All right, let's continue on.
Yeah, so don't stop at Fears, but one of Fears made 2 more requests during this sequence.
Yep.
Like originally, I just had the baby just like floating around, but Fears was like, I want 2 more things, Randy. I want the crystal in the foreground.
Yep.
And I want the blanket in the foreground moving around because it's in space and the blanket would.
Yeah, because I was like, if it's in space, I'm like, in space, you know, there's no gravity, so he'll be floating around like while he's watching this. And so I said the crystal should be floating around because his father gives him the crystal and the blanket.
Yeah.
Now, Randall, I think another request was, didn't I request to have the Halloween 3 in there somewhere because I love Halloween 3?
Yeah, yeah.
Because you already have this sequence done, and I'm like, Randall, I'm begging you, please put in, Halloween 3.
And I put the season. Was it the season of the witch? Was part 3?
Yeah. Sega says, "Oh, Fears, look at my recent message, you cunt, you schmuck." Let's see what he says. He says, "No, I'm looking at Randy's face. Fears, look. Wait, did Sega message me on Facebook? All right, hang on, Sega. Let me see his message. Hang on. I'm sorry, Sega. We're doing our best here.
Be careful not to minimize the cartoon. Please.
I won't. Okay. All right. So Sega did not message me. So I guess he was saying look at the message on the chat.
Fears, you're getting Sega triggered.
I know. I'm sorry, Sega. I had the chat minimized, Sega. So I apologize. All right. So Sega, every once in a while, I'm going to look back at the chat. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Steven, be nice. Be nice. Steven says, Sega, you can barely read the most recent messages in your chat too. Steven, be nice, buddy. Let's not make fun of Sega. All right. Let's continue on. All right, Randy. It's still in the cartoon, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. Guys, whenever we do episode 2, I promise we'll get better at this, Randall. See, Randall, trial and error.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue on. World Trade Center, there it is. See, now he's 8 years old, Randall.
Yeah.
And there's the Wile E. Coyote. See, now Randall, that was my request, and of course Randall had to get some Star Wars in there. I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
Little Home Alone 2 action. Oh, there he is. There's Freddy.
Yeah. And Freddy is my favorite horror film of all time.
And I love Bruce Lee. I had to put Bruce Lee in there, and that wasn't one of his movies. Everybody, Randy found him doing one of his training sessions, and he was listening to some music in the background. So it's Bruce Lee actually practicing his martial arts, which I thought was way better than a scene from his movie. So
yeah, and the reason I put like that scene in there is like that's where like Fearsman learns how to fight. He learns to fight from Bruce Lee and.
Oh, Randy, I accidentally had it on you, not the cartoon. Hang on, let me click. There we go. Let me click it over.
Okay.
All right. There we go. Uh-oh. I am getting Sega majorly triggered. He says, fix the goddamn camera. It's on Randall's face, you idiot. I'm sorry, Sega. It's the first time I've done this in a while. Sega, I apologize.
All right, moving on.
Should we invite Sega in here?
I don't know. I think that might be... I mean, if it's hard for you to do it with just you and me, I mean...
We'll invite Sega in at the end of this. Sega, I'm sorry.
You know what? We'll do an after show with Sega when we do the drawing stream.
Yeah. We'll invite Sega in at the end. So Sega, I apologize. I didn't mean to make you triggered. All right, let's continue on, Randall.
Yeah.
One giant leap for mankind.
Yeah.
Randall, that was a great picture of Saturn, by the way. Now, where did you find that? You just Googled that one, or what?
Yeah, I was looking up space, and that was one of the ones, and there was no watermark on it. It was a pretty clean picture. So.
All right. Now, this is another one of my favorite scenes. Randall. Now, if you look, Randall made the Earth moving, and Randall, tell them you actually had a tiny little white dot. And so the only request I made is, Randall, make the ship smaller and smaller and smaller, and then have it disappear, because it's, going into Earth's atmosphere.
And actually, something else on this shot, Fears, like this was a shot of the Earth, but originally the shot was horizontal. So I blew up the picture and I tilted it so it would look like it's on the side and not on the bottom.
Sega says that's what I was trying to mention to you this whole time. Well, Sega, I had the comments minimized, so I'm sorry. I did not mean to make you mad, Sega, because Sega has never called me a cunt. So Sega, I apologize. I am sorry. Go ahead, Randall. Continue on.
So yeah, so I made it on the side so that the screen direction would be the same. Because like in all the shots of the egg, except when it's moving like forward through space, I had the egg always moving from left to right, left to right.
Yeah, and so did you use the same Earth picture for the ending sequence when he's flying away?
No, I don't believe so. No.
So you found another one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, we should continue on then. All right. Let's play this. Randall, another great performance, by the way, by Will L. Saying this, this message to Fears, before he crashes to Earth. This was a really good thing.
Yeah.
Now, Randall, do you want to talk about the music? We had some copyright issues, guys, on the music. At first, what music were you going to use, Randall?
Originally, I was gonna use Billy Idol's "Dancing with Myself,"
Mm-hmm.
but like we thought, oh my god, if we do this, we're gonna have some copyright issues. So I typed in like 80s copyright-free music, and like one of the first ones that comes up that it says like Billy Idol like song, and it was only 1 minute and 30 seconds long, so it was like, that's perfect, we'll just use that.
Yeah, so you found something similar to Billy Idol, and where did you find that? Like, didn't you just write in?
I got it on YouTube, Fierce.
Yeah, but I forgot what you wrote in. Didn't you say like copyright free, like 80s music or something? I forgot what you used.
Yeah, copyright free 80s music.
Okay, cool. All right. Nice.
And this is my mom coming up playing.
And you've got some Easter eggs in here, Randall. Tell the Easter eggs in this thing, because I didn't notice this until after the cartoon was made. I did not even notice the tape decks at the bottom.
Yeah, me and my mom, we used to go on really long, like 8 or 9 hour road trips, and we always listened to the exact same tapes. We got a little ELO in there. We got a little Billy Idol. We got a little Madonna, Weird Al, Jackson 5. So, when we would go on these long trips, we would listen to them. So I thought, it'd be cool, like little, hearken to my childhood. And like, this is in the 80s. So you see, he doesn't have a CD player. He has a cassette tape player.
Of course, a cassette tape. And another Easter egg, I said to Randall, I said, my birthday is in October. I was born in the 80s. So I said, of course, we have to have Fearsman land in the 80s. And so he said, well, Fears, why don't you just do your birthday? And so I said, perfect. I said, Wentzville, Missouri, 1983. And then, boom, he lands. And Randy thought that was perfect. I thought it was perfect. And the rest is history. And Randy, I did not tell you which ones to pick, the cassette tapes. I just had, it was a happenstance type of thing. Like, you thought of it, I think, what after the fact?
Yeah.
And
Originally, it was just like blank tapes, but like Fears was like, you gotta have, it can't be just blank because it just looks like rectangles.
yeah, and I was like, just add some more detail,
Yeah.
Geodudes, it's nothing personal. I just didn't want to answer that question, because I didn't want to give too much away. We're gonna address that issue in episode 2, 3, or 4, Geodude. So it's nothing personal. So that's why I deleted the comment. So I'm sorry. All right, Randall, let's continue on. By the way, Randall, your mom did a fantastic job. We were trying to find someone, and my actual mom didn't want to be in it. She was just super busy with my dad. And so Randy was like, hey, what about my mom? And so tell your mom, Randall, thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, she loved it. And, the guy playing John Clark, that's my friend Ryan, and my friend Ryan's wife also appears as the news reporter later on in the episode.
Well, and Ryan's wife, she's got a great voice, and you've used her many times in Cameo Man. I mean, at least 10, 20 times, something like that.
More like around 4 or 5 times, but yeah, a lot.
Mm-hmm. Geodudes, I did not take it personally. I think you took it personally that I deleted it. I did not want, the reason why I deleted it, and I'm being honest, is I did not want to tell people why we did it that way, Geodudes, because we're going to explain it in future episodes, and I don't want to give everything away. I want people to enjoy, the surprises that come. So I think we just need to drop it, Geodudes, and and that should be the end of it. So let's just drop it.
And this picture right here, Fears sent me a picture of a Wentzville road, and this picture is almost exactly like the picture.
Exactly, because I said, Randall, we got to use real locations in Wentzville. I said, all right. I said, I think it would be fun to use real locations. And you're like, well, Fears, is there a long road or a stretch of highway? I said, there's actually a long stretch of highway, Randall, like this, and they have light posts like this. And I said, Randall, instead of putting, the only thing that was different about the picture is, Randall, is there's a couple of light posts, going down the road. And Randall's like, let's just put one in, Fears, because, it'd be hard to put tons of light posts.
No, the light posts are there, Fears. It's covered up by the explosion right now, but you'll see them when the explosion goes away.
Yeah, but you only see maybe 1 or 2 more. Remember in the actual original photo, there was just tons of them going down the road. And I said, Randall, you don't have to, because it was a picture just stretching way down the road. And I said, Randall, there's got to be at least 10, 20 light posts. I'm like, you don't have to put that many. I'm like, just put 1 or 2 in. And so that's the only thing. And then we got an
egg shape in the street light right there.
Yeah, that's the only thing. That's the only thing that that we changed about that picture. Yeah, and then the egg is coming. Library of Laughs says, yo, everyone, how's it going? We're doing good. Sonic says, can you react to my live stream? One of these days, I will react to one of your videos, Sonic Studios. Geodude says, I have a question for Randy. What brought you to wanting to use the certain clips in the fly-in sequence for Baby Fears? So he's asking why those clips, Randall, that you picked.
Well, I tried to choose the most popular clips that everybody would know what it is, except for the Freddy Krueger one. I tried to choose one that every single person on the planet would have seen. Everybody's seen the moon landing, everybody's seen Bruce Lee's movies. Everybody's seen Home Alone. So I tried to choose the most popular clips of all time.
And Randy, the Bruce Lee thing is actually even better. I said, Randy, if you could find some footage. I said, I don't know if there's any rare footage of him just working out or practicing his moves. I said, Bruce Lee is one of my heroes, because my dad back in the 70s and 80s, he bought, when Bruce Lee wrote that book about his own form of Kung Fu or karate, or he made up his own type of style.
Jeet Kune Do.
I couldn't remember the name of it, but he created his own style. And my dad said, that was one of his heroes growing up. And my dad said he loved Bruce Lee movies, and I love Bruce Lee movies. So my So my dad bought the book, and actually, my dad had that book for a long time, and then he actually gave it to me. And so I have it in my collection, Randall, of books. My dad, bought that book, and then he goes, well, I read it, John. I'm already done with it. You can have it. And I said, man, Randy, wouldn't it be great if you could find some training footage? And Randy found this training footage of Bruce Lee working out, and he was just listening to some music in the background. And so, Jason, to answer your question, we both worked on the clips. Because I said, Randy, I said, pick some of your favorite movies. I'll pick some of my favorite movies. And then me and Randy both decided on the historical moments. And Randy, you are correct. I said, Randy, it's going to be some of the most pivotal moments in human history. So, of course, Randy put in JFK, like the footage right before he gets shot. Like when he's driving in his car. I said that's a big historical thing. I said you got to have the moon landing in there, and the reason why I wanted the moon landing in there, I said, well, Fearsman's traveling through space, so of course we have to have the moon landing in there. I think, Randy, it was your idea to put Martin Luther King in there. I said that's perfect. Add that in. So to answer Geodude's question, Library of Lamps says, Fears, have you ever thought about doing Taekwondo like from the Fearsman episode? Oh, well, the reason why we put that in Library of Laughs is whenever I was young, I did Taekwondo. That's why we put that in there. And I went all the way up to my green belt. I wish I would have finished and got my black belt, but I got to green. So it goes, I think Taekwondo goes white, yellow, green, orange, red, brown, and then like 8 versions of black, Randall. So there's a lot of belts in that. And
like there's three basic sources where Fears and I get all of our ideas. Like number 1 is Superman.
Yeah.
Number 2 is the 1966 Batman TV series. And then the third place.
And the Superman series, and I wanted aspects of my life.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I said Superman, I just said Superman in general.
Yeah. Superman in general.
And then Batman, the 1966 series. And then, like, the third place that Fears and I get a lot of our ideas is we just steal stuff from our own life. We just use our own life experiences. That's why Fears put in the Taekwondo. That's why
exactly.
John and Helen Clark are named John and Helen Clark, because those are,
Yeah. John and Helen is my mom and dad's, real names. And, and I said, I don't want to put Martha, Kent and change it around to, Martha Clark and all that, so, yeah. Library of Laugh says, why don't you start again, Fears? It's very rewarding, Taekwondo. I may. All right, let's continue on. But yeah, that's to answer Geodude's questions. So, yeah. King, your mother's ring is here. What's up? So now we have quite a lot of people watching, 13. All right. So I hope you guys are enjoying this commentary. And Randall, kudos to you making this explosion, this scene. This took you a long time, but man, well worth it.
Oh, yeah.
So while I play this, go ahead and describe this explosion, how long it took you and all this.
Now, the explosion took a long time because originally, like, there was no flat bottom because, like, Fears is like, well, it kind of, like, envelops the whole car. So I had to, like, crop out the bottom. And then, like, there's a bunch of fire in the foreground. And then there's a shitload of layers in these videos.
Oh, and hang on. Let me clarify something. Moody, whenever he did his bullshit commentary, Randall, he says, why does it crack? Why doesn't it open? Because like in the opening shot, like where Fearsman's parents put him in, you see the door go down. I thought, okay, well, it just landed, and because of the Earth's G forces, you know how like when a spaceship comes back into the Earth's atmosphere, Randall, it catches on fire. And so I thought, all right, well, whenever the egg lands, the force of it landing, it hurts the structure of the egg, and there's fire everywhere. So wouldn't it cook the egg, Randall? And Randall had the idea. Randall was like, well, Fears, it's an egg-like ship, so the fire should cook the egg, and it just cracks and hatches. And I thought, well, that'll be a funny joke, Randall. Like kind of like Fears being born. Well, Fears hatches from an egg, and I thought it would be a funny, little joke.
Yeah, and I think it was. And since it's the '80s, in this scene, you'll see that John is or is it John Clark? Yeah,
Yeah,
John
John
is
Connor.
wearing a
Oh,
fanny pack in this scene.
and that was another thing. Like Moody was like, "Oh, why the fuck is he wearing like a fanny pack? Like that doesn't make any sense either." Ooh, it's the
It's
80s. It's the 80s. Like everybody in the 80s, like even The Rock, you know, like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he even said in the 80s and the 90s, I wear a fanny pack, you know? And so I said, Randy, you should put my parents in 80s clothes. And then Randy called me one night and said, "Oh, well, Fears, I didn't just do that. I added a little something. Go ahead and check out this photo." I was like, "Oh, Randall, you didn't. Oh, hell yeah, you put a fanny pack in there." And he's like, "Well, I had to, Fears." And I thought it was funny. It was good.
In the '80s, I wore a fanny pack all the time.
Yeah,
because where I get my Walkman.
Yeah,
whenever I would go out bike riding, I would always play music through my Walkman while I was doing my bicycles.
It was just him nitpicking Randall, and of course, since he's a troll, he's gonna bullshit around and he's gonna nitpick everything. But
and then also John is wearing a denim jacket, which I also had. Wearing denim pants, which was also big.
And I'm not trying to call Moody out. It just is like he totally ripped our cartoon to shreds. And so I'm standing up for. He wanted me to explain all this, and I don't like him, because of what he did to me and my parents. So I'm just calling him out on his stupid comments. I'm just telling you the reason why we did all this. So whenever he watches it, this is all the reasons why we did all this. It actually makes total sense why we did all of this stuff. But since he didn't work with us, Randall, he was like, "I don't get this cartoon. I don't understand where they're coming from." Well, now you have a chance to understand everything.
Okay.
Everything makes sense. What we did. And we did everything for a reason, and we put in tons of Easter eggs. Randall, we didn't skip any Easter eggs because we've been playing this for a little while. We didn't skip anything, did we?
The license plate is RBIC. And that's a little nod to me. It's Randy Brown is cool. So
Yeah, right there. Do you see it?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to. Okay, all right. Let's play it. Yeah, because I missed that. And then I think on my car, Randall, you put Fears, I think, didn't you, or something?
I put FM26, which stands
FM26.
26.
Yep. So Randall was putting Easter eggs, not just of the community. Tons of stuff. My life, Randy's life, movies, cartoons. And like I said, I stole the egg concept from Mork and Mindy. So we were all over the place with Easter eggs. All right, let's continue on.
Yeah, and Fears and I are both Mork and Mindy fans.
I love
the hell out of that show.
And Randy thought that was a fantastic idea. He's like, "Fears?" He goes, "I wish I would have thought of that idea." And I was like, "I just came to me, Randall. I love Mork and Mindy, but let's put the egg thing." So that's the reason why the egg cracks. Because it's an egg, and I wanted an egg to crack, and and it makes sense. And there's
D-Man right there.
Yeah, there's an Easter egg. So D-Man actually makes quite a few cameos, and D-Man, we don't know what D-Man looks like. But on his icon, it's got an American bald eagle, and so I said, "Randy, throw in, D-Man anywhere there's a sky sequence, have D-Man just floating by."
Yeah.
So there it is.
The 34 years later was my idea because, we go straight from, Fears had it where we go straight from the egg and then we show the shot of the tower, and I was like, well, how? I was like, we gotta somehow tell people it's 34 years later because they're just gonna think this takes place in the same thing. So
yeah. So I thought that was a good idea, and we went with it. All right, let's continue on. Again, these are all clothes that I wear. I have a blue blazer, a blue vest like this, Randall. I have that black tie, and I said, "Randall, do that." Now, this is a special request for me, Randall. I wanted Tim.
Can you go back to the shot of you looking up at the tower again?
Yeah.
Because actually, Fears is just finding this out right now. Not that one. Right, pause it right there. That shot is based on a scene from Requiem for a Dream. like Jennifer Connelly's character is like looking up at a building, and I kind of like have the same angle and the same composition. So this is Requiem for a Dream is one of my favorite movies by Darren Aronofsky. So I had like the same composition where he's like looking up at the tower. Fears is just finding this out right this second.
I did not know that, Randall. But hey, it's a good shot, and I like the angle, and yeah, that's a good little Easter egg, Randall.
Yeah.
Again, I wanted, even though I don't work at the security office, Randall, we established in the teaser trailer that, Fearsman works as a security officer, and I used to be a security officer.
This
and
shot
so,
was up. Oh, go ahead.
And so I just said, Randall, I said, even though I don't work at the security agency anymore, let's put it in there. And now this wasn't the security depot I worked at. I worked at another security depot. So me and Randall came up with St. Louis Security Depot. And then Randy, the Easter egg that Randy's about to say is Randy put in Cameo Man cars from his cartoon. Randy, why don't you go ahead and explain that?
Well, that was one of the things that I was going to say, but this shot right here was a real fucking pain in the ass to do.
Yeah.
Like, the city in the background is a layer. The 3 cars that go on in the background is a layer. Then the St. Louis Security Office Depot is a layer. And then I had to have a layer for the door open and a layer for the door closed. And then when you walk through it, I have to have a layer of part of the door. And then you walking through it is a motion layer. So this is actually a very hard shot to do. A lot of work went into this. This one
and
shot.
also, Randall, another Easter egg in here is again, Randall put the 26 for Fearsman 26 on the building, and I love it.
Yep, 2600. Yep.
So Randall was like, Fears, I will do different variations of 26. He goes on different buildings. So any building, I told Randall, you should just keep that joke going. Put a variation of 26, like. If it's building 265, maybe put like a dash, like 26-5, or something. Yeah. So it's always good. Like, so Randy's going to keep that joke going. Let me back it up a little bit so you guys can see the cars. And Randy had these detailed cars. And Randy, what episode are the cars from? I cannot remember. You told me, but I can't remember.
It's Cameo Man, the Man with the Plan. And the cars that are going on in the background right now are from the opening shot of Cameo Man, the Man with a Plan, where we see the shot of Ray's house, and then the cars are going on in the foreground. Yeah.
So watch these cars. They're so detailed. Randy had these in a couple of his cartoons, and I said, that's fine, Randall. And then this is Sega Camp's favorite scene, and he said, Fears, you got to get Timmy in there somewhere. And I said, I based Timmy... because we only really had, Timmy's icon, Randall. In Timmy's icon profile, we have just Timmy's long black hair and then the hat covering an eye. And I said, Randall, Timmy kind of reminds me of Carmen Sandiego. So I said, base Timmy's character, a mixture of Timmy and a mixture of Carmen Sandiego. So I said, and he goes, well, what, Fears? He goes, do you want to change his colors from purple to red? And I said, no. I said, keep it all purple. She has purple gloves on, a purple dress, a purple blouse, a purple trench coat, and a purple hat. And you had her in purple high heels too, right, Randall?
I think so, yeah.
Something like that. And so
this scene right here is one of the scenes where Fears really put me through the ringer, and it turned out a lot better. Like originally what I had a front shot of Timmy and Fears, and then we go to the back shot, and then we have a front shot, back shot, and like Fears was like, no, what I want Timmy to lift up the paper. I want me to have an expression. I want Fears to turn around and look at Timmy.
Because it's supposed to be because every elevator scene in a movie is so awkward. Nobody usually talks, and if they do talk, it's very awkward in a movie when two people are talking in an elevator. Well, since Timmy barely talks, and when Timmy does talk, it's in a computerized voice, I thought, we're not going to give away Timmy's origin story in the first episode. Timmy is very secretive, and there's a reason why we put Timmy in the elevator. Because everyone was like, I got a bunch of comments, Randall, saying, why is Timmy at the security depot? She has no logical reason why she would be there.
Maybe she works in the office.
Yeah, maybe she does, maybe she doesn't, guys. But you will find out in later episodes, not episode 2, not episode 3, but future on down the road. You will find out why Timmy was at the security office. Yeah. You guys will. It'll all make sense why she's there. All right, go ahead, Rand. I'm gonna keep playing.
Yeah, Fears really put me through the ringer on this scene, but I think because he did it, it's a better scene. Like, every time you see Fears from the front, I have him, changing his expression. Like, in one he does, an eyebrow lift, and this one he does an eye blink, and then in one he's got a piece of sweat going down his face.
Yeah, and the reason why he's sweating is because he's nervous about his interview, and he's wondering, why does this lady keep looking at me? Why is she so secretive? Why doesn't she reveal her face? And that's another Easter egg, because we will never, in the cartoon, reveal Timmy's full face until the very last episode of the cartoon that we ever do.
Yeah, and Fears likened Timmy to Carmen Sandiego, so we thought, she would be like the Carmen Sandiego character.
Yeah, and in the Carmen Sandiego movies, the cartoons, and even in the the TV show, really, Carmen, they had 2 game shows of Carmen Sandiego. Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego and Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego? That was 2 of my favorite kids game shows besides Double Dare and Legend of the Hidden Temple. So I said, Randall, you can never show Timmy's full face. You can show a side of her face, maybe one of her smiles or an eyeball. But yes, you can't fully show Timmy's face. And
we've been doing this commentary for like 90 minutes. That's how much stuff we put in this cartoon. This cartoon is like chocked full of Easter eggs.
Yeah, and I told Randy, I said, Randy, the fans have been waiting this long. We gotta put tons and tons of Easter eggs. And Timmy loved the drawing, by the way, of her, Randall.
Oh, cool. Yeah, nice.
Timmy loved it. So yeah, let's just continue on.
And that hallway when the doors open up is also taken from a different cartoon of mine. I can't remember which one it is, but I had that background lying around, and I was like, well, I never used this, so I'll just use it again.
Pixel says, Fears, I missed too much restart. I'm sorry, Pixel, we cannot restart.
You can watch this over again when we're finished, and you can catch it.
Yeah, Pixel. And Library of Laughs does a classic Fears comment random. He says, awesome. Yeah, dude. Jams and jellies.
Yep.
Well, we actually do have, I think, in episode 2, we will have jams and jellies in the security depot. Now, Randall, if you look at this screen right here, behind the secretary, there is another Easter egg. I decided, my supervisor, his real name was Nick Jones. And because he was such a dick, Randall, and I hated my ex boss, I said, Randall, why don't you call him Dick Jones, because he was a dick. And also another Easter egg is Randy loves RoboCop, and if you remember, Randall, the big CEO, what's the company called? CEO or
OCP.
OCP, like the big CEO of Omnicorp or OCP. His name is Dick Jones, and I said, "Oh, that's perfect, Randall." So that's another Easter egg. And then
another Easter egg is the color palette here, like the walls and Tina C's like hair and lipstick and blouse is yellow, and then behind her we got a blue door.
Yeah, and then you said you wanted to name the secretary Tina C for a reason, and why don't you go ahead and tell that Easter egg?
There is an actress that I absolutely adore. Her name is Tina Cote, and ever since I came up with Cameo Man, I was like, if I ever make the live action movie, she has got to be the person. So, I didn't want to put Tina Cote. I didn't want to call her out in the cartoon, but I put Tina C, and Tina is short for Tina Cote. Mm-hmm. And if there's ever a live-action Cameo Man movie, I'm going to see if I can find that actress and get her to play Julie.
Yeah, and I thought that was perfect. I was like, Randall, let's just chalk it up with the Easter eggs. Let's just continue on. So, yeah, because we're almost done. And a lot of people said, Randall, that this scene kind of slowed down the cartoon, but we had to establish him getting a job. And so I wanted the the origin story doesn't have much action in it, guys, because you have to tell the origin story. Episode 2, there's going to be tons of action,
And
and there's only going to be a couple of scenes where Fearsman is sitting down, because the second episode is called The Interview. And the reason why the second episode is called The Interview is because at the end of this cartoon, the black news reporter lady says, do you mind if I get you an interview? In episode 2, Fearsman creates his real epic costume. His mother's going to make it. You're going to find out how Fearsman creates his name of Fearsman. And then as he sits down to tell his story to the news reporter, we're going to flash back and tell even more origins of his life on Chronopolis. And then after he gets done with the interview, then we're going to have him save someone in a big, big way. Correct, Randall?
Yeah, and now originally on that computer screen, I had Tina C not doing her job, and she was actually watching a few shots from The Deal, which I think is one of personally, The Deal is one of my favorite things that Fears has ever done ever. So I had her watching that.
And the only reason why when I changed that is I said, Randall, I said, some of my fans probably don't know what The Deal is. And I said, it was very eye distracting, my eyes kept, looking at her screen and not looking at the cartoon. And I said, that may be too much. I said, usually in film, Randall, less is more,
Yeah.
And so I said, just put some writing on her computer. I said, let's not have her goofing off, right away at work.
And then if you look above John, we got some more egg shapes right there.
Yeah. The lights are egg shaped, and I said, Randall, anytime you can put an egg shape in there, that's a little Easter egg too. I mean, it's not like a big Easter egg, but anyway, let's continue on. And this music I chose from what music is this from, Randall? It was from Leonardo DiCaprio's what I forgot what movie that's from.
I think it's Beautiful Dreamer from Batman, the 1989 one. Now, go back.
But that music is also in a Leonardo DiCaprio movie, and I got it from there. I said, Randall, that's perfect music for the waiting room sequence. And
that music has been in a lot of films. It's probably both in that film and in the Leonardo DiCaprio film. Yeah. It's been in like 100 different films. It's a really famous song.
We got a couple of questions. Library of Laughs says, is there going to be a boss battle in every episode along with other stuff going on, Fears? Sometimes Library Laughs, we're going to have a big villain that Fears takes down. Other ones, we're going to talk about a lot of his origin. So we're going to be jumping back from, sometimes it's a casual episode where you find out more about Fearsman and less about villains. And other episodes, it's going to be Fears taking down a major villain that attacks St. Louis, Missouri. And now, Pixel, there isn't a blooper reel.
On that topic of what the first guy just said, one of the things that I'm pushing Fears to do, and what I'm pushing myself to do a lot, is in a lot of the Cameo Man episodes that I've done, Cameo Man is just kind of sitting there talking about nothing with Cody and doesn't save anybody. In future I don't know about Fearsman, but in future Cameo Man episodes, there is always going to be a villain, and Cameo Man will definitely save somebody, if not end on a big cliffhanger. So
if in Fearsman, I want to really tackle some problems that take place in real life. So if Fearsman isn't taking down a villain, maybe he could take down people need to recycle more and save the planet. So there's always going to be a theme to Fearsman, whether he's helping kids from being bullied, but in the first couple of episodes, we have to establish this world that Fearsman is in. So it may take a little while, guys, to have Fears, handle some major villains, but we're eventually going to get there. But I thought we started off with a big bang. Nobody wants anyone to die in a fire, Randall. And so I said that would be a great scene. And, he saves a man and he saves a wife, and there's a lot of fires. Whenever I was a kid, in St. Louis, I don't know what happened in the 90s, but I remember you would always see someone in the 90s around St. Louis getting, someone would set a building on fire in St. Louis or around St. Louis, and I thought that'd be a perfect way to start Fearsman as a character, and I thought it'd be perfect. All right, let's continue on.
For these next few shots, Fears, when it changes images, pause it, because like this scene is very Easter egg heavy.
Oh yeah. All right, here we go. Right here. So go ahead.
Okay, now if you look in the background, there's two things. We got Timmy on the cover of Time. Time, who is she? And then the other one, there's a magazine called National Geographic, but like what I did is I shortened it and I put Nat Geo, and Geo is a reference to Geodudes. Yep. And then we also have the Easter egg chairs there.
Yeah, and the East and Randall was like, "Hey, Fierce, what about in the waiting room? All of the chairs are egg-like shape." I'm like, "Oh, that's perfect, Randall. Do it." And I made a request. I said, if we're gonna, debut Timmy in this episode, I said, well, Randall, I said, the Geodudes is one of my best friends, from film school, and you're one of my best friends, Randall. Besides, I'd say like my 4 best friends are like my buddy Tommy, my buddy Eric, my buddy Geodudes, and Randall. Those are like my 4 best buddies. And I said, well, Randall, we've already plugged your channel. We've already plugged Timmy's. I said, let's get Geodudes in there somewhere as a little Easter egg. And I think it came out quite nicely.
Originally, the background to this photo was like a little over to the right more. But go back to that picture, Fears, because there's some more stuff on that.
Okay.
Like originally, I accidentally had the Timmy photo being covered up by Fears' head, so I redid the background and then I moved the pictures over to the left.
Remember, Randall, I told you you don't want Fears' head right in front of the Easter egg, Randall. So I said move Fears over just a tiny bit and have the picture of Time magazine right behind him,
yeah.
And it worked out amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and he actually kind of surprised me. I knew the Geo picture was going to be in the background, but I did not know that Randy was going to put the Timmy thing in the background. But
yeah, and if you look at the word Time, what are the first 3 letters? T-I-M.
Yeah.
And then E is the E sound.
Yeah,
so
Timmy.
Timmy.
Exactly. That's another Easter egg. All right, let's continue on. Lots of Easter eggs in here. Randy made the clock. Yeah, Randy made the clock look like a digital 1980s wristwatch.
Yeah, and there was a funny little superhero called. On Saturday Night Live, they had this thing called the Interesting Four, and Seiko Man was a superhero who could travel 3 seconds into the future and then come back. So, like I said, if we're having a watch, why don't we make it a Seiko watch, like a reference to Seiko Man?
Yeah.
And then the time, the reason why it says 10:28, the reason why Fears came so early, is because 10:28 is October 28th.
Yeah, and that's my birthday. That's my birthday.
And then the Me Too Times, Me Too is actually a company on YouTube, but instead of spelling it M-I-T-U, I put M-E and then the number 2.
Well, Randy actually requested that because he said, "Hey, Fears," he goes, "You know how you're a big fan of Jenny Lorenzo?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, why don't on the poster, for the mayor of St. Louis?" He goes, "How about it's a magazine or a poster that says Me Too Times?" And he goes, "Randy," he said, "Fears, Jenny used to work at Me Too, and they spell it M-I-T-U." And he goes, "I'll just spell it M-E-T." And I was like, "That's perfect, Randall." I said, "Do that. That's a perfect little Easter egg. Nobody will probably get that one." And I said nobody will figure that out until we do the commentary and tell them. Library Laugh says, "Can't wait for the next episode. No rush for me though. Can't rush great art animations." You can't. And again, Randy will do it as fast as possible. But I'm going to be honest. It's probably going to be 3 months because I want Randy to have a chance to make his Cameo Man episode. But since the next Fearsman's only going to be 5 to 10 minutes, it should take Randy. He said, Fears, give me like a month and 2 weeks, and you'll have the next episode. And I said, perfect.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, the way I'm figuring out the time here is like the Fearsman animation took me 6 months. If you divide 6 months by 5 minutes, which is what the next Cameo Man episode is going to be, it comes out to roughly a month and 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's a guesstimate, not an S. It's a guesstimate. I might have it out in that time. I'm gonna if I can't get the whole episode, I'll just cut it down to one scene, and I'll do some Batman voiceover where like, we'll blah 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 do this, and I'll have Fears do the Batman voiceover if I have to cut it.
Yeah. Oh, Pixel makes a funny joke. He says May 2020. No, it'll be out before then. Pixel, you son of a bitch. Randall, we got to get a good Pixel cameo in there. I don't know. Pixel, let me know in the chat, Pixel. Pixel's a good friend of mine. I want to meet him one day and have a beer with him. He seems like a really nice guy. He does great videos. I don't know if I have the heart, Pixel, to make you a villain. Maybe you could be in, the Fearsman Justice League as, Pixel Protocol, because he's got, on his YouTube channel, Randall, he's got, 2 P's, as his YouTube logo. And so we could have 2 P's like on his chest, and make him a superhero. But I don't have the heart to make him a villain. I can't.
I don't know what Pixel looks like, but whenever I think of the word Pixel, I think of the Moonanites from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. So whenever you ask me to draw a Pixel, I just draw one of the Moonanites from Aqua Teen. I think it would be funny not only to have Pixel as Pixel, but to have Pixel as like one of the Moonanites, because it would kind of be like a reference to Pixel, and it would also be a reference to Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Well, I know what Pixel looks like. I mean, I could get you a picture of what Pixel looks like. I mean,
okay.
Pixel wants to be in the cartoon, so I could just write him on Twitter and be like, Pixel, give me a picture of you, or you can see what he looks like on his YouTube channel. Like whenever he interviews celebrities, so yeah.
I think we should keep our comments short because we're barely halfway through this.
Yeah. Let's continue on because we have to do the drawing stream later with Sega later, and and we're going to be doing that. It's already 3:17, and we're doing the drawing stream. We're going to start that at 5:30. So let's continue on.
Okay.
But we didn't miss any Easter.
Nope.
Okay. Right.
I don't think so.
All right. Let's continue on.
So now, if you look at the background in the shots of the office, I had D-Man flying tons of times.
Well, that's in the next episode when he does his interview. There he is in the background, and there's the
and Fears was very specific about the background actually having pictures of actual St. Louis.
Yeah, I just thought it would make it more lifelike. Like if you look in the background, that is a picture of our of City Hall. We have a new City Hall. I think that is the they kept the old building though in St. Louis. I believe that's the old City Hall. But now that old City Hall is it's a historical monument, so they can't tear it down, or nobody wants to tear it down because it's such a beautiful building. And I think the new City Hall is that skyscraper, Randall, in the background of the picture. I think that skyscraper, I believe, is the new City Hall, and it's a big building, and I think that's what it is. But don't quote me on it. And then of course. I haven't talked to the dude in a long time because he's kind of mad at me. I hope the dude comes back to the channel and watches myself. But I said, Randy, we can't have a tomato on the desk, because it wouldn't make sense. I said, to make it look like an apple. But I said, do a variation of like an apple and a tomato, so people will know. Oh, that's the dude's second channel. That's the dude streams channel. And then we're gonna have the blueberries later. So go ahead and keep talking, Rand. I'm gonna play this.
go ahead and keep going. But like, there's a lot of modern art. Oh, pause it right there. We have to talk about this.
Yeah. Now this is
So-
this is the MMA Holes and Jesse Bill Hill's cameo. So go ahead and talk about this, Randall. Go tell
So
everybody.
we got JB Hill. That's for Jesse Bell Hill. And then
Yep.
if you look really close, it says JB Hill Industries. And then we have Mike, which is a reference to my friend, one of my friends named Mike. We have Mike, Matt Allgood,
Yeah.
Harry Osborne, LexCorp, Energy Surplus. And if you look below the industries, like the first letters of all the names spell out MMA holes.
Exactly. And then
We got some egg shapes in the background. And then
Yep.
for the night shift for the people, I put Jay Walker, Taylor, Judy, which are some of my friends. And then like Fears' biggest friends in his place is Keegan and the Jason Prowett guy.
Yeah, and well, I don't really hang out a lot with Keegan anymore because he's been going through some family issues and stuff. So he said, "Fears, I may have to put you on the back burner for a little while and take care of some stuff." But Keegan still is a friend, and so yeah, I put Jason Pruitt in there. And then if you look on the plant, we have some blueberries for the dude's first channel.
Yeah, and if you look at the clock in the background, the clock is set to my birthday.
Yep. So that's another little Easter egg.
And then in the corner behind the apple, you can see a blueberry tree. And maybe like one day that little blueberry is going to turn into the dude. And then in the trash in the other corner, in the opposite corner, there's a little can of milk or a little bottle of milk in the trash can.
Yeah, and I made that request. I said, Randall, I said the reason why that milk hasn't hurt Fearsman is because it should be an empty bottle of milk just laying in the trash. So we're hinting at the milkman is going to become a villain in later episodes. So
and then also one last thing in this shot, Fears, is that I was watching this this thing called the Great Courses, and they have a photography course. And the teacher is a really famous photographer called Joel Satori, and he says what he does is when he frames something, he tries to have something in each corner. So I put the milk in one corner, I put the apple in one corner, I put the clock in one corner, and I put the exit sign in another corner. So all the corners have something interesting going on in them.
And then Randall, I told Randall to draw the security outfits exactly how they looked like when I wore them. It was a gray shirt with a black tie, and then I had kind of like blackish grayish pants, pants, and then I had to wear black shoes. And so Randall did it exactly like that. And another one is Randall added in the side window. At first, we did not have a side window.
Yeah.
Randall just had a wall, and he said, "Hey, Fears, it would look so much better if I made like a little tiny hallway, like it's leading. Maybe that hallway's leading into your office because you just got a new job."
And Fears said the original
background. Put a window.
Yeah, Fears said the original background was kind of boring, and I was like, you know what, Fears, you're absolutely right. I'm gonna do something with that.
Yeah. So yeah, Library Lab says the milk's a bad omen. Exactly. That's why we put it in there, Library Labs. And so it's leading up to the milkman. And then Pixel says, Fears, put a bottle of barium as a villain, because remember I have to do those barium things, Randall. Like whenever I do a colonoscopy, that's actually a pretty funny idea, Randall. We could probably do that for a future episode. Like maybe the barium becomes like a villain, like it mutates and becomes a barium villain. So there it is.
Oh yeah.
Barium villain.
And keep it going, but like a lot of the security outfits, I had to redraw to make them consistent.
Yeah, because here's some more. Now we already established all these Easter eggs, right, Randall?
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue on.
And then a lot of the modern art in the background is blue and yellow.
Yeah, and I told Randall, I said, Randy, I said, have a ball with the art ground. I said, do whatever you want. And he said, well, Fears, he goes, I should put blue and yellow in almost all the paintings. And I said, do it.
Yeah, you're going to see that coming up in the apartment scene, too.
I'm going to skip ahead, though, Randall, because in this scene, there's not many Easter eggs.
Yeah. I mean, there is, but we went over all of them already.
Yeah. We already went over all the Easter eggs, so I just want to skip through because it's 3:24 and we've been going on for a little while. But I'm glad everybody is enjoying this, and it seems we got 7 likes, so I appreciate that. Pixel says, or make barium like one of your kryptonites. That could be a good idea too. The main kryptonite, Pixel, is milk, which turns Fears' body yellow. And but that is a good idea, Pixel. I like where you're going with this.
What I love about this commentary episode is it shows how much thought we put into this episode.
Yeah, and that was another thing. That Moody said. He goes, well, this looks like it was all thrown together. Like it didn't look like that was well planned.
There was a ton of thought.
Exactly. There was tons of thought. I wanted it to look a certain way. I mean, I was very detailed. I said, Randall, I want his haircut to look exactly like mine. I said, I want to use real clothes that I wear in real life in the cartoon, because
when you use photos from the city, it has to be actual places in St. Louis.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, because I don't want to make anything up, because St. Louis is a very interesting city, and another one, the building that Fearsman goes into in the security depot, that is an actual building in St. Louis. And I said, Randy, here's a picture of the actual building. Make a cartoon version of it. And Randy said, Fears, I can make it look exactly. He goes, all I have to do is just look at the photo and just draw it. And all those little sharp angles and stuff, that's exactly what the building looks like. And if people think I'm bullshitting, me and Randall can pull up a photo. And I guarantee you, Moody will be like, oh, that's bullshit. He just made up that building. Because he was nitpicking everything, Randall. And so to clarify, Moody, I'm kind of calling you out, but I'm kind of not calling you out. But you're dead wrong when you said there wasn't much thought put into it. So anyway, let's continue on, Randall.
I think we're like 2 hours into this commentary stream, Fears. There was a shitload of thought put into this episode.
There was a ton of thought. And me and Randy must have rewrote the script, what, how many times, Randall? At least, what, 2 times, 3 times?
A lot.
Yeah, and we added stuff. So we would rewrite the script for episode 1, and then whenever we got it good, we would rewrite it again, because Randy was like, oh, hey, Fears, I got an idea. And we'd add it into the script. I would have an idea, and we'd add it into the script too. So let's continue on. Of course, we had to establish that healthy pizza shop, Randall. So yeah, that was a funny little joke.
Yeah. Now,
right there,
tomato. If you look at the tomato like comes to life for a second. That was a reference to the dude, and that was also a reference to one of my favorite movies of all time in the cartoon, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
And I loved that, I love that movie too, Randall. And I said, Randall, go for it. I said, because we didn't make the blueberry come to life yet, and I said, I don't want the blueberry to come to life because there's a certain way how I want the blueberry to grow to 100 feet tall, like how we used in the teaser trailer render. And we're not going to tell the fans how we do that yet, but I know exactly how he does. And so Randy's like, well, Fears, why don't I just have the tomato/apple come to life, as a reference to, the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. And I said, only have him come to life for a split second as an Easter egg and see if the fans will notice it. And
yeah, like if you're not paying attention, you're not going to notice that, because it literally takes like 5 frames for the person to come alive and then close his eyes again.
And people actually loved it. So shout out to the dude's 2 things. The dude, I do apologize. I hope the dude comes back. He's a little mad at me right now.
I hope the dude comes back too. I do.
Yeah, because he's a good guy, and I apologize for getting mad at him and saying stuff behind his back. And I hope he starts watching my channel again. I kind of miss the guy. He's a good guy. But yeah, we did. All right, let's continue on. Okay, so on this scene, I said, Randall, add some color into where he lives. And if you guys watch the Cameo Man episodes, Cameo Man's color of his suit is red and black, so we made Fears's apartment complex red and black. And then if you look at the yellow car, Cody's superhero suit is just pure yellow. And I said that's genius. I said that's genius, Randall. And then if you look at Fears,
this is also that yellow car is also the same car from when Fears is going into the building, and it's the same car in the background.
Yeah, exactly. And then I said, Randall, here's a picture of my car. I said, use my actual car as Fearsman's car when he drives up to his, when he pulled up to his apartment complex.
Yeah, and actually, the first apartment I did was a lot closer. It only showed about 2 stories. Fears was like, that is
Randy.
unacceptable.
You should tell the fans. Look how awesome Randy got him walking. Look at that.
Yeah,
that took Randy forever to make him walking like that.
And then to open the doors and have him actually go inside the video. Now this shot right here, the shot of him go back to the shot of him in the elevator, Fears. Like the only reason I had a shot of him in the elevator is because if you watch this scene.
Hang on, let me get to it.
Go into the first scene where he's walking in right there. If you have this shot right there without the next shot, without this one, it looks like it's the exact same shot, but it looks like the desk just disappears and the hallway disappears.
Exactly. And this shot, Randall, we should say, Randy based this hallway from an actual hallway from a St. Louis hotel. And it's on the 13th floor, and it's a really popular hotel.
So I drew this shot right. Yeah.
And the only thing I told Randall, I said, Randy, the only thing that hallway, that picture of the hallway has, I said, make Fearsman's apartment on the 13th floor, for Friday the 13th. I said, people will get a kick out of that. I said, Pixel will like that.
Keep it on this shot, though. This shot right here. Now, Fears wanted, like, the lobby to look exactly like the thing. So what I did is I took the background right here, and I erased half of the drawing, and then I just, I kind of, kept the same style, and the picture of the lobby is the exact same photo with, half the picture erased. And I just thought to myself, okay, there's a tile floor, so I'm going to have a tile floor in the lobby.
Yeah, but also, Randall, this picture is based off that lobby and the 13th floor. I gave Randall 2 pictures. There is a fantastic hotel. It is super expensive, Randall, to stay in this hotel because it looks so nice and so posh and wonderful inside. Literally, I think to stay one night in this hotel, it's $400 a night.
Yeah, and originally the apartment that I drew, Fears was like, no, it looks like he lives in a crappy apartment, and he's got a crappy lawn chair out front. I want him to live in a huge expensive building. So I was like, okay, Fears, well, show me a picture of what you want.
And so I found a nice apartment complex that's not connected to this hotel in St. Louis, but they're almost side by side. They're in downtown St. Louis, and so you have the hotel on one side, and then literally it's either across the street from it, Randall, or right beside it, I can't remember, is this apartment complex to this nice hotel. And so I kind of meshed the 2 ideas together, and this is what we came up with. So let's continue on.
Yeah, and this next shot coming up, if you look at the painting of Vigo, his eyes change from looking over.
Watch this. And I wanted a Ghostbuster reference, and so I said, Randall, before he goes into his apartment, I said, let's have some wall art. And he goes, well, Fears, he goes, you want a Ghostbuster reference, don't you? And I said, yeah. I said, oh yeah, put Vigo. And then another Easter egg is the reason why we did Channel 2 News is because that is the most famous news channel in St. Louis. I mean, they have News Channel 4 and News Channel 5 in St. Louis, but my favorite is News Channel 2 because they're so active with the community. Not that the other news channels are not active with the community, but I think that News Channel 2 does it the best.
And then along with this picture right here, we got the egg-shaped air freshener to the side right there. And then on the TV, I originally had Boney, which was a rip on Sony. But Fears was like, well, we got Fearsman's language, bung, chung, nung. What if the name of the TV was Zung?
Yeah, and that's another word that my friend Trent made up. So I was like, we'll put Zung on there. And then if you look in the painting, there's not a painting, there's a portrait of his parents, and Randy just kind of took one of his drawings that we did not use in that shot.
Well, actually, what it is, Fears, is I took the background out and I put like Fears' mom.
Oh, gotcha. So you changed up a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know that. So I thought that was
because originally the background was the background of the truck, and you said, well, nobody would really take a picture of themselves in a truck, so like delete
and put
the
it up
background
on the wall.
Yeah.
And I forgot that I told you to delete the background. So I'm just finding out about this right now, Randall. But it came out perfect. Yeah, the egg-shaped speaker was Randall's idea. I thought that was funny. And then Randy used bits of footage of the trailer on the TV.
Yeah.
This is straight right out of the trailer that we very first put out. So let's continue watching. Now, Randall, you should tell them the little click of the TV. Do you want to tell them how you found that sound effect?
Yeah, the click, it's a really funny story. I was almost like thinking of putting like John Fears as the remote in the credits. But like whenever Fears would do his line readings, sometimes occasionally he would suck his teeth. He would be like, so here's what we're gonna do.
And I didn't mean to do that. That was just like me pausing, and then I didn't mean to have that air, go through my teeth.
Well, a lot of people do it.
And a lot of people do it.
And when Fears originally saw this scene, he said, Randy, what I want you to do is I want you to find a click. So I went on YouTube and I started looking for click sounds, and all of them like sounded like somebody like pressing a button, or somebody like, or like somebody like changing a dial. And I really couldn't find a good click sound. And then like as I was listening back to Fears' audio while I was, thinking of that and doing Fears audio at the same time, I saw this like little spike in the audio. And I selected it and I hit it, and it was like a little.
Yeah, so and it worked out perfectly. And I was like, Randy, if it works, use it, do it, go for it.
So that little sound effect is only 2 frames long. It's like 2 frames long, and it's actually that little click sound is actually from the dialogue that Sega and Fears and me are doing in the very first scene.
Yeah. All right, let's continue on.
Sorry.
Now this Randall was to save time. We were running out of time, and Randy was like, Fears, can you please just let him think about all this instead of saying it? And I said, that's fine, Randall.
Lip sync takes a shitload of time to do. So, and like actually, keep playing it for a second, Fears. Keep playing it and pause it right there. So now, originally, the scene that is in the thought bubble, I was thinking Fears was going to do the dialogue in his head, and then, like, after that, I would show the scenes of, like, zooming in on a sock, zooming in on the gloves, and, how he gets his thing. And Fears was like, Randy, this is taking too much time. It doesn't really connect. Like, what I want you to do, Randy, is I want you to take these scenes, and I want you to make a thought bubble, and in the thought bubble, have those scenes so we can save time.
To save time. And he's thinking, okay, I'm not a superhero yet. I need to come up with a half-assed costume. Oh, I know. I'll grab a yellow sock and cut 2 eye holes out of it. Then I'll cut I'll grab my pajamas from the closet. That'll be Fearsman's costume. I'll wear my Converse, and then I'll take that yellow blanket from whenever I came to Earth and tie that around my neck, and there you go. You got yourself a costume.
Now, the shots that Fears originally wanted was Fearsman reaching in and grabbing the sock, and then he also wanted a shot of Fearsman, snipping the thing. And I was like, Fears, we're under the gun.
Yeah,
that would take way too much time.
And it would just take too many drawings and too much time. And I said, all right, Randall, I said, let him just sit on the couch, say all this stuff in his mind, and then we can just show him thinking, all right, I'm gonna grab that sock out of my dirty clothes basket. I'm gonna grab the scissors off off the table. I'm gonna grab my pajamas out of my bedroom closet, and it worked out great. So let's just continue on.
Because basically the shots that you see in that cloud, those are all just still images with a zoom effect on it. That's all those are.
Now Randy added this shot. I wanted him to just to walk onto the balcony and then just jump off the balcony. And Randy said, Fears, he goes, he's a superhero. He doesn't need to walk up to it and then, climb up onto the ledge and jump off. He just needs to run fast and just dive off the balcony, and he flies through the air. And I said, that'll work out perfectly.
And then we got more blue and yellow modern art in the background.
Yeah, and so I thought that's perfect. And so now I'm going to pause it because there is some Easter eggs in the sound effects, like when he hits the ground, Randall. Hang on, here we go.
And pause it right when his legs get out the door. Oh, wait, go back a little bit. Now, the animation, well, I'll just explain it. The animation, I showed Fears the animation first before I showed him the drawings. Because if you look at the part where he jumps out the window, like the shot of his legs, it was just his legs. So I didn't show Fears that at first because, Fears wouldn't understand it. He'd be like, what is this cigar shape, Randy? See, like, how his legs are just out there? Like, that's all there is of that drawing. I don't show his body. I don't show his head. I don't show his arms.
I'm trying to land it right on that shot, Randall.
Yeah.
Right there.
Right there. Like, the drawing itself looks like a cigar. And, like, I showed Fears the animation of the final of what it would look like before I showed him the picture of Fears, because it looks like a cigar. It really does.
It looked amazing whenever he jumped. But at first I was like, what is this cigar thing? But it worked out, and Randall's a genius. And I loved how he just dove out. He just dove off his balcony, and I'm like, we don't need him walking up. And so here, let's continue on. So yeah, I wanted him holding the materials of his costume in one hand, and he's got his superhero hand, he's holding up in the air like that. I was really adamant about him doing a pose as he's flying down, and I said, Randy, when he hits the ground, it's got to destroy the concrete because he's a superhero, and when he lands, I wanted him to land with force.
Now, originally, this shot was from the shot before this one was from a very far away angle. But Fears was like, no, I want it close. I want you to see all the floors going down as he comes down.
Yeah, because he lives on the 13th floor, so I said he has to be, kind of flying through the air for some time. And when he hits the ground, Randall, tell them what sound effect that was.
It was just an explosion sound effect. I looked for, like, concrete cracking sound effects and, like, breaking sound effects, and none of them worked, so I just used an explosion sound effects. And actually, Fears, this is another one of the things you're finding out.
And it worked out great, Randall, because when I heard it, I thought it was actually a concrete sound effect, and it wasn't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
The next shot was the one that I was most afraid of doing. It was one of the shots where I had no idea. I have no idea how I'm going to do this shot. I just need to tell Fears I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. I just don't know how to do it. And Fears was like, Randy, you're fucking doing it. And I was like, I'll figure it out.
No, well, I didn't say it like that, Randall, because I don't.
No, he didn't say it like that, but
No, I just said Randy because I don't want people thinking I'm a dick. I did not say it like that. I said Randy. I said Randy. I said we'll do our classic approach. I said I'll entrust in you that I have the confidence that you will figure out how to do this scene. I'll leave him alone for a week to figure it out. I did not bother Randall for if not a week, at least a couple days, and he figured it out.
Yeah, I spent a week on just the next shot because it was so difficult.
Randall, before we go to the next shot, there's 2 more Easter eggs in here. The reason why we went with Pine Shadows Apartments in college, guys, in Arizona, if you Google around the Tempe, Arizona area, that was Fears' apartment complex. Pine Shadows Apartments.
And then actually, the car in the background is from a totally different layer, and I have the Fearsman 26 logo on there.
Exactly, and that's a picture of Fears' actual car. Here, let me back it up a little bit, because I think you can see the car a little bit more.
Yeah.
And here we go, hang on. So he dives off, and then he's flying down, and then right there. Well, I thought you saw more of the car, Randall, but yeah, you only see a bit of the car. But that's my actual car in real life. I just gave a picture of Randall, my car, and he drew a cartoon version of my car. So that's another little Easter egg. And then here's the next scene that Randy was talking about. Watch this.
It's the hardest scene. It only goes on for like 5 seconds, but
yeah. And the 2 Easter eggs are we have Carrie in this scene, and then Randall already explained whenever he goes through the revolving door. This is a tribute to the Christopher Reeve 1970s when he first transforms into I almost said Fearsman, right? When he first transforms into a Superman, he runs up to a telephone booth, but it's not a full booth, so he kind of looks at it because usually, Superman turns into Superman in a phone booth. He couldn't do that, so he runs across the street, and as he runs across the street, he rips his t-shirt or his shirt open, and you see the F, and then he gets into a revolving door of a hotel, and he runs around the revolving door really fast, and he runs around it so fast that the Clark Kent suit flies off, and it reveals the Superman costume, and then he's up and away. And I said, Randall, we have to pay tribute to that.
And like I said, throughout, like even just beginning this episode, this is the shot that I was most afraid of doing.
But Randall figured it out, and I can't think of enough. And this is the shot that people were most mad at. We didn't know kind of how to draw Carrie, and people think that's actual Carrie in. And I said, no. I explained it to Carrie. I said, Carrie's role in the cartoon is, since Carrie made the joke of the healthy pizza, I said, well, we should just have a shop called the Healthy Pizza Shop. And so it's hang on, Randall. Okay. And it's not actually a picture. It's not actually Carrie standing in the window. It's actually a picture of Carrie in the window, because I said, well, Randall, if she's the manager of the Healthy Pizza Shop, I said on one side there should be a picture of a pizza, and Randy actually added the dripping cheese.
Yeah.
And then Randy added Carrie, and he said, well, Fears, it's really hard to draw Carrie because you don't want to insult Carrie, but Carrie looks a certain way. And I said, Randall, just do your best. And people got mad at us that we made Carrie too big, and so that's why. But we didn't have enough time to change the picture because we were so far behind in the cartoon. I said,
well, I'll tell you the reason why this one.
Hang on, Randall. And I said, Randy, if we don't get this cartoon out, I said, people are going to friggin' boycott the shit out of me. And so, I said, okay. I said, all right. I said, Randy, just change how she looks in the crowd sequence. I said, I'll explain to Carrie that Randy tried to do his best, not make you look super big, but I said there's only a couple of ways to draw Carrie. And I said I don't know what we have, because we tried to make everybody in the cartoon look a little bit better than they already are in real life. And I'm like, but Carrie, I'm not gonna say Carrie's fat, but she's not the thinnest person in the world. And I'm like, Randy, just do your best to do a cartoon version of Carrie without disrespecting her.
Yeah.
Apparently some people took it bad, and we apologized to Carrie. Carrie said it was okay. And the next time, Carrie said, just use the cartoon version of me when I'm in the red shirt. Carrie likes that one, and from now on we're going to use, we may change the color of her shirt, Randall, for the next episode, but we're gonna go with that picture of Carrie.
The whole reason why Carrie looks the way she does in this picture, and the reason she looks the way she does in the upcoming picture, is because this picture was the first picture I drew, and I was drawing it from imagination and memory. The picture of Carrie in the crowd, I looked on Carrie's icon, and I actually drew Carrie's picture. See, this picture is without reference, with just me remembering.
Yeah, exactly.
The picture of Carrie in the red shirt is I actually clicked on Carrie's icon, looked at it, and then I drew as close to that icon as I could.
And I said, and I thought of that. I said, Randall, instead of that picture in the window, I said, use the picture of her on her profile, on her YouTube profile, and I said, I think that one will look a lot better. So it was never our intention, guys, to insult Carrie. Some people took it bad. The dude actually was one of the people that took it bad. He got mad. He said, you made Carrie look disgusting. And he got mad at it. And I apologized to him. I apologized to Carrie. I'm not talking behind the dude's back. You know, he just did not like that. And he goes, I will not watch this cartoon, you know, if you're making fun of people like that. And it was never our intention to make fun of people. And I hope the dude will forgive us. And it was trial and error, you know, like I said, Randy's a pretty good animator, but he doesn't have 11 animation people working with him. That's why another reason why it took so long. And, you know, on The Simpsons, they have what, 20 animators at Randall on The Simpsons, you know?
Around that, yeah.
Yeah, and Randy's one person. So I said, Randy, I know it's going to be hard to draw cartoon versions of people. Just do your best. And I understand why people took offense at this picture of Carrie. And I really am sorry. I'm really sorry for the misconfusion. And, you know, Carrie looks a hell of a lot better when we get to the next scene, the crowd sequence, and Carrie's in her red shirt. So let's just watch that. And, but yeah, those were all
One last thing.
Right,
on Family Guy, it takes 6 animators to come up with an episode of Family Guy in a month. Now, if you take 6 animators and, you know, a month for 6 animators times 6 animators by a month, 6 months, which is basically what this thing does. But those animators aren't doing lip sync. Those animators aren't editing the video. Those animators aren't coming up with title sequences. Those animators aren't working with other actors and having other actors voice stuff and directing them. And these animators aren't coming up with the storyboards. So, like I said, I'm doing the work of 10 men here, people. So you just gotta work with me. Gotta work.
And that's why I hated when, I don't know if Moody said it or some of the trolls said it, like, Randy is like the most laziest dude. Like, it shouldn't take him this long to make a fucking cartoon. And I'm like, Randy, they're just doing that to get a reaction out of you. I'm like, they're so full of shit. And then like, MB Studios is like, my cartoon's a lot better. His cartoon is a piece of shit. It's a little funny, but it's a troll cartoon. He's basically having Sega jump onto a plane, kill Fears, and then turn into a werecam. And I said, Randy, whenever Sega transforms into the werecam in my cartoon, Randy says, oh, Fears, I already know exactly how I'm going to do the transformation of Sega. And it's going to be 10 times better. And I know it is, Randy, because you're a far better animator than MD Studios. Like Randy said, Fierce, I'm going to zoom into like his bathrobe and have the bathrobe kind of rip and tear and have fur come out of the bathrobe. And so it's like half on him, half off. So it's like the bathrobe's ripped to shreds and he turns into the werecam. Right, Randall?
Yeah.
And I said, I can't wait. I can't wait for that. So anyway,
you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Yeah. And another reason why it took Randy 6 months, again, I will state my reputation on this and Randy's. We made it 20 minutes because we felt you guys deserved 20 minutes because it took so long. It's not going to take Randall 6 months on the next Fearsman cartoon because it's going to be a 5 to 10 minute cartoon. And Randy said, Fears, I could probably do a 5 to 10 minute cartoon in a month and 2 weeks. And I was like, perfect, Randall. Because that's how long it's going to take to do the two Cameo Man cartoons. So, all right, let's continue on. And see, look, now doesn't that picture look better of Carrie?
Yeah.
And of course,
because I was using reference for this picture.
Yeah, and of course there is tons of Easter eggs in this. The person that is pointing with the watch, that is a cartoon version of Randall. Then standing right by Randall is a cartoon version of not Fearsman, me, John Fears. Then behind me is Ray, which is Ray is AKA Cameo Man, but that's Ray, just as Ray, not in his superhero costume. Then we have
Carrie's left.
We have Carrie, and then behind Carrie we have the guy with the trench coat and the hat. And Randy said that's supposed to be a tribute of Commissioner Gordon. Randy and me like comic book movies, so we put the crowd standing in front of a comic book store. Leo is supposed to be like Leonardo, you know, from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And again, Leo is also another one of my friends from a different channel.
Exactly. And if you look, the store is at 2,600.
And then also the yellow character in the background is Cody. And
That's Cody.
If you look on Fears has a little patch that says 26 for Fearsman.
Exactly. And then we have Matt Man in the gray shirt with the white shirt. And we didn't have Matt speak this time, but in the next episode, I think we're going to have Matt laughing because everyone loves his laugh. And so that's what, and that's how we did it. And I think it came out great.
Yeah.
You know, like the only reason why I got so many dislikes was because the trolls decided to sabotage it. And I hope they don't do that for the next time, but I'm sure they will. But I mean, people loved the cartoon. We put so much hard work and effort into it. And I think it came out great, Randall. I really did.
Yeah.
Let's continue on. Of course, this is all from the teaser. This is from the teaser trailer. This is all from the teaser trailer. Fearsman is flying just like how it was in the teaser trailer. He saves the little girl from the teaser trailer.
Now pause it on the fire shot, Fears, because like
right
this
here.
Shot, oh my God, this shot took so long to render. There are so many layers.
Do you want it on this shot? Do you want it on this shot, Randall?
Yeah, that one.
Go ahead.
There are so many layers of fire, and then like the background is a layer, and then the sky in the background is a layer, and then like we had a layer of fire in the background and the sky. There, like the shots of fire, there are so many layers, and it was so hard to get the key right. It was tough.
Yeah, but you know, I can't thank Randall enough because it looked amazing. When I watched it, I was like, Randall, I have dreamed about Fearsman ever since I created the character. And the reason why I created Fearsman, it was a class project, Randall. Randall's heard this story, but I don't know if the audience have heard it. When I was about, I don't know, in first or second grade, the teacher said, I want you to make a superhero. It can be, she says, try and use some type of your name in the superhero. Like one of my friends' last name was Ray Randall that used to sit next to me in grade school, and so he just called himself, since his last name was Ray, he called himself Rayman, and so he had a bunch of rays like shoot out of his eyes, and he had super strength, and that was his superhero. And I thought, well, since my last name is Fears and I love Superman, how about Fearsman? And actually, my superhero was so detailed that we had a contest in class, like when I was in first or second grade, and the teacher said, whoever comes up with the best superhero, she goes, I will buy them a couple of candy bars as the prize. And so I won because I was so detailed. I said and because I got Crohn's when I was very little, so all of that, him having the power of flatulence, the power of super fear, the power of fear, he can look into his villain's mind. That was all in when I made this character up in first and second grade, and the next day she graded all of the superheroes, and tons of other people had great superheroes. One girl made up Fairy Lady because she loved her. I think her middle name was Fairy, and so she made up Fairy Lady, and the girl was a girl. There was another girl. Her last name was Poppins, so she called herself Mrs. Poppins. Because her last name was Poppins, and she loved the movie, Mary Poppins, Randall. So everybody made great superheroes up, but my teacher thought mine was the most creative, and she loved that I parodied Superman. And she said, John, I got to be honest. She's like, Superman is one of my favorite superheroes. And she goes, I think, it was a really good idea that you made this. And she goes, you honored your family and you put a whole bunch of thought into it. And, so...
a lot of people don't know this. The shot of the city right here is actually one of the ones that I didn't use for Cameo Man. But if you look in the background, there's an F, and that's not for Fearsman. Ray's uncle is named Eric Frederickson, and he takes care of him when his parents died. So the F in the background, you could say it's for Fearsman, but it's actually for Frederickson Enterprises.
Also, Randall, you said Fears. Can I use a couple of cartoon pictures in Fearsman that I've already created for Cameo Man, just as a tribute to Cameo Man, and as another Easter egg? I said, Randy, go for it. I said, because we need tons of pictures of St. Louis. So this is, I guess, the only picture of St. Louis that really isn't St. Louis, but we're portraying it as St. Louis.
Yeah.
But this is the only shot. Randall said, I want to have at least one shot, one of the shots that they used in Cameo. All right. Someone says, let's see. Atari says, new here, the streamers don't interact with the chat. I do interact with the chat just as we're trying to finish this up, Atari, and you don't see me and Randall right now because we're reviewing our cartoon. So sometimes I talk, sometimes Randall talks. If you subscribe to the channel, you will see us interact with the chat. Come back at 5:30, Atari. We do a drawing stream. Me, Randy, and Sega will be interacting with the audience quite a lot. So
Yeah.
come back at 5:30, and you will see us interact. So don't worry, Atari. We will interact. We're just trying to get through this review and this commentary. So yeah. All right, let's continue on. And the music that whenever you watch it, this is from Stay Tuned, the movie, one of my favorite comedies.
Yep.
And it's perfect superhero music, Randall. You've said this before.
The music, like almost the entire animation was without music, and then I added the music at the very end. And when we put the Stay Tuned music, when it started, when Fearsman jumps out the window, oh my God, it was like that music was made especially for this cartoon. Everything synced up so perfectly.
It syncs up. Now, another thing that I want to clarify is this next thing. Moody said that this would never happen. This is another one of his bullshit. I mean, he's right, but he doesn't understand why we had the fart put out the fire, because he said, if you really think about it, he goes, if somebody farted on fire, he goes, there's so much methane in the fart. He goes, it would just put the fire more on the building. Now watch this, and I'm going to explain it because he's such a fucking moron.
Fears is from another planet.
Hang on, I'm gonna do it, Randall. He's such a fucking moron. He didn't even give me the chance to explain because I don't want to talk to the fucking idiot because I hope he dies in a car wreck because he's that much of an idiot. We do everything for a reason, and if Fears is from if he's an alien from another planet, his fart is not going to be like it's not going to be methane. It's not going to be it's going to be different from a human fart. So watch this.
I love this part too.
Yeah. So what did you say, Randall?
I love this part too.
I love this part too. So Fearsman just bends over, and the reason why his fart is green, well, obviously a human's fart is not green. So Fears, whenever he farts, we're going to have different colors for different farts. Because so the green fart is supposed to represent, like, I thought, Randy, the green fart could be like, the green fart it's super windy, so the wind puts out the fire. And then whenever in another episode, Randall, we're going to have a yellow fart. And the yellow fart is supposed to, like, it's going to be like poison, like a poison fart, Randall. And then it's going to poison somebody in the second or third episode. And it basically knocks them out and eventually kills them because it's a poisonous fart. So whenever the fart is a different color, guys, just know it's for a different purpose. And so Moody did not understand that. He did not understand. And he's like, this will never happen, like they're trying to make it lifelike, and you gotta, like, put science into it and all that. And he was just like, what am I trying to say? I'm Moody. I'm nitpicking just like you because I knew the only reason why he did that commentary, Randall, was to troll me. And karma's a bitch and revenge is a bitch, and I'm basically doing it right back at him because I knew everything that we did in this cartoon, Randall, is for a purpose. And I'm like, no, he's wrong. He's totally wrong. It would work because Fearsman is from an alien planet, and there's a reason why the gas is green. In another episode, we're going to have, Randall, I have another idea where the gas is going to be purple. It's going to be for another purpose. That's why he has the power of flatulence. his powers of flagellant can do different things. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And he wouldn't let me explain that because I don't want to talk to the guy. But he did that that stream behind my back. Someone told me about it. I watched it, and I'm like, this is complete bullshit. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. So that's the reason why we have the fire right now. Hang on, let me play it. And that's why the fire is put out just like this. Because it's a different type of fart. It's not a human fart. Now, Randy added in this scene. Randy, I loved the scene, like when he turns around like this and he flies away. I didn't know Randy was going to do that. I thought he was just going to put it down and then he walks over to the news, to the people, because the news people are already on the scene. They're already at the the scene of the crime, or the scene of the accident. And Randy was like, "Fears, it's so much easier just to have him turn around, and then we'll have a news camera like filming him like this." Like that, and instead of, he goes, Fears, you should have him not walk up to the news people. You should have the news people walk up to him and be like, "Hey, who are you?" Da 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 da, and all that.
Now, originally, if you go to the shot before this, originally the shot of the little hand with the mic, I was thinking we were going to have somebody else. So it's a white person's hand and the sleeve is red. But like Fears wanted somebody from the actual Channel 2 News. So what I did is a palette swap. I flood filled the white to brown, and then I filled the red sleeve to black.
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and submit this cartoon to Fox Channel 2, and that's why we put Fox Channel 2, because they have this thing called I forgot what it's called. I think it's like the early morning show or the morning show. And there is a black news reporter lady that actually is the host of that show. And so I put her in as a little cameo because she's one of my favorite people on that news station, because she's so funny. And I thought that'd be, a nice little cameo.
Yeah.
Anyway, Randall, it's 4:05. We gotta sum all this up because we've been at this for a while, and we're starting the other drawing stream at 5:30. So just say the last few things that you want to say, and then we gotta skip to the end.
The person playing the news reporter is actually the wife of the person playing John Clark.
Yeah. And she did a great job.
Yeah.
So then he flies away, and I told Randall to keep the music going, and then it fades into Monday morning. And then there's another cameo of D-Man.
Yep.
And then, here's the thing. The reason why it zooms up on the costume, and the reason why I wanted Randall Brownstein, which is Kenneth Clark's kind of sidekick partner whenever they're working at the security depot, to find out. That was another thing that Moody said, why the hell would Fearsman, why wouldn't he be more secretive about his secret identity? He just broke one of Will-El's rules. Like Will-El was saying, you got to keep your secret identity a secret. Well, in every superhero movie, Randall, they always keep their identity safe, And I thought, well, let's turn it around and have somebody help Fearsman,
Yeah.
So I thought we'd do something different. Also, Randy really wanted Fearsman to have a sidekick, and I said, well, Fearsman is kind of like Superman. Superman doesn't have a sidekick, and he said, well, how about this? He goes, how about Randall Brownstein becomes Fearsman's best friend, and he helps him find out where the biggest crimes are in the city. And I said, Randall, that's a perfect idea.
And the yellow clipboard in the background, if you look at the lines in the paragraph break basically make an F and an M.
Exactly. Here, let me rewind it so they can see that.
It's in a ton of shots.
Now watch this. See F and M right there. So that's another Easter egg. FM, and then you see it again right there. Do you see it right there? Yeah. And so then you see more of his costume. And then if you look to the right, there's an Apple computer, on Fearsman's desk because I use an Apple. So Randall thought that would be perfect to put that in there. So to clarify what Moody said, that's why we had him. He's like, well, he's like, this cartoon doesn't make any sense because he's breaking Will-El's his rules. That's the reason why we broke his rule, because every superhero makes mistakes, and no one. And
it would be impossible in real life if you actually were a superhero to keep your identity secret.
Exactly. And someone would find out, unless you were like looking behind your back every single corner, and you did it a certain way. I mean, it is possible to keep a secret identity, Randall, but it would be very hard in today's society because there's cameras everywhere, there's cell phones everywhere. So I wanted to make it realistically. So his friend finds out, and then his friend helps him keep his secret identity safe. And that was just another thing that he was like, just making fun of the cartoon. And I'm like, it actually does make sense, Moody. You don't make sense, but the cartoon makes sense. That's the reason why we did it. So, yeah. So, I'm not trying to call him out, Randall. I'm just protecting our cartoon and the reason why we did everything we do is for a reason. You know what I mean, Randall?
Yeah.
And Randall, I hope you've enjoyed this commentary.
I did.
I did. I enjoyed the commentary, and I hope the fans enjoyed the commentary. We're getting towards the end, guys, but I can't thank you guys enough for the thing. And I just did it again, Randall, at the very end. God damn it.
Well, while you're bringing it back up, Fears, what I like about this commentary, and I said this before, said it tons of times, like, a lot of people are like, Randy's not doing anything. The cartoon's never coming out. Oh, he said April. Now he's like 3 days later. It's like we put 1,000,000 hours of time and effort, like putting in Easter eggs, like
everything.
making the animation best it could be. We had tons of different like versions of the cartoon.
That's why it took so long. And I want people to understand that Randy is one guy, and like I said, like we said it 1,000,000 times, Simpsons has like 20 animators. So, but like I said, the reason why we're going to solve this problem is to make quicker episodes, so you guys get more information and quicker episodes to you guys, so you guys know what's going on, and you guys can enjoy the episodes a lot quicker. So instead of 6 months, you'll have the next episode in about 2 months. So yeah.
So, and like Fear said, another thing is these that work on Simpsons are just doing animation. They're not doing sound design. They're not picking out the music. They're not editing the movie. They're not hiring voice actors and working with the voice actors. They're not rendering. They're not uploading. They're just animators. I'm doing the work of like 10 different people. Yeah,
but Randy likes to do animation, and Randy said one day, Fears, I'll teach you how to do this. So, and I said, I appreciate it, Randall, but I also wanted Randy to do it because that's Randall's passion is making cartoons. And since I'm such a good friend, I said, well, Randy, instead of me doing it, why don't you just do it? And, I can write my idea, and you can have your passion of filmmaking, because cartoon is a version of filmmaking. It's just an animation film, but it's still film, and we're making a story. And I said, I get a win out of it, you get a win out of it, and there you are. So we do everything for a purpose, guys. Everything makes sense, so don't listen to these idiots that are like, oh, it doesn't make sense. Ooh. Everything makes sense. They don't make sense, but the whole cartoon makes sense. That's why I can't stress this enough. Do not listen to them at all. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. I'm just saying we had to explain ourselves. And Randall, I'm glad that we had this chance to explain everything. It's been fun. Let me get the cartoon back up. I apologize. But there we are. Oh, wait.
It's actually on you in the chat right now.
That's right. It's not that. Oh, God. I hate this. I hate this freaking crap. I hate this, like, all this technological shit. I'm not good at this. You have to do it a certain way, Randy. You have to keep the fucking cartoon up on the fucking screen, and I keep I have like 10 windows open, and I'm sorry, guys, my bad.
Yeah.
And
And to the guy who said we don't interact with the fans, like we said, we're still figuring this stuff out. In
we
the
do
future,
interact.
we're going
We
to
yeah, we do.
learn, and then
We do interact with the fans. Just we couldn't right now because we were explaining the cartoon, and I have been interacting with them a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why I kept accidentally pushing the wrong window, because I had to minimize this and then pull up the chat and read the chat. Like N4 said, shout out to Uncle Terry. As always, N4, I appreciate the shout out.
And again, another one of the reasons we haven't been interacting is because we put so much into this, and we made this so that you would realize, no, we didn't just toss this off in an hour.
Yeah.
Tons of thought went into this.
Yeah, and so we had a lot to say, and I'm like, well, we may. I told Randall off camera. I said, well, we may not be able to interact a lot with the fans. I said, I mean, I'll jump.
And you know what? Look at that frame right there.
Well, hang on, Randall.
That is a detailed frame. You can't draw that in 2 seconds.
Yeah, Randall, you would spend what, like a day on like you would in a day. Randall would do around what, 4 or 5 drawings, Randall, and you said
usually in a day I was doing 4 or 5 drawings, but in the last 2 weeks when I was really scrambling to like make the deadline, I was doing like 11 or 12 drawings a day.
Yeah. So at the beginning, he had some leeway. He said, every day I promise to you and to the fans, I will do about 4 or 5 drawings a day, which he did. And he made
if you look on Fear's Facebook, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is right there on his Facebook.
Yeah, so Randall would tag me all the photos, and I would upload, not every single photo, I would put up my favorite. I would put up my favorite photos, but Randall would have a copy of every single drawing photo on his too. So if you guys think we're lying, go to Randy's Facebook, check him out. Go to my Facebook, they're up. And Randy recently just gave me Randall. You gave me the first 5 or 6 drawings of the new Cameo Man. So he's already working on that.
Yeah.
Right, Randall? You gave me 6, right? 6 drawings.
No, I gave you more than that. There were 3 of the red-haired woman. Her name is Angelique. There's 1 of Ray.
Yeah.
There's 4 of Cody. So, yeah, about 8. About 8 pictures so far.
All right. Let's get back to the drawing, and then we'll end this bad boy, because it's 4:16, and we're going to start the drawing at around 5. The drawing stream around 5:30, 5:40, somewhere around there.
And we're really near the end anyways.
Yeah, we are. So thanks for your guys' patience, and I'm glad that you guys liked all this commentary, and we pretty much covered all the Easter eggs, Randall.
Well, actually,
right?
If you look at when it comes to the pause it right there. See now, like there's several like letters. There's A through E, F through M, K through T, U through Z. If you look at F through M, whose initials are F and M?
Fearsman.
Fearsman. There you go.
And then it spells out Fearsman, So you basically tell the audience FM is another reference to Fearsman. So yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's continue on. I was like sitting the back talking to and we're setting up all the, like, Randall, in the dialogue too. In the dialogue, there's Easter eggs too for future Easter eggs in future episodes. Randy loves to build on things. So some of the dialogue, guys, if you really listen to the dialogue, it's leading up to future stuff in episode 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it'll all be explained in future episodes. So everything makes sense. Everything. It may not seem like, because according to Moody, he was like, none of this fucking makes sense. It all makes sense. It's only the first episode. We're going to explain everything. His powers, more of his origin story, what his powers do in detail, everything. Correct, Randall?
Yes.
All right, let's continue on.
that box in the foreground may even come into play. And like
Exactly.
when Fears saw the shot where the camera is at the back of the closet looking towards
Yeah,
me,
I was like, what's in the? Well, I mean, what's in the closet? He's like, oh, it's just a brown box. And I said, but what's in the box? And he goes, oh, Fears. You'll find out in future episodes. And I was like, oh shit, okay. So even
and
I don't know everything.
You really liked the framing too, the composition of the shot.
I did. I loved the framing. I love how you got his like costume, hang in his, in the closet, and because I just wanted at first I wanted his costume just neatly, folded on the top shelf. He said, "Oh no, Fierce." He goes, "He should just quickly throw it in there, and it should be all over the place, like on different shelves." And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds right," because he quickly, if he's fighting crime, he would quickly change out of his costume, throw it in the closet, and he was about to close the door, and that's when Randy, walked into his office, and he was like, "Oh shit!" Like they found out. All right, so let's continue. All right, and I have to address something. Pixel says, "Is this a commentary stream or a moody roast?" It's not a moody roast at all, Pixel. I was just so enraged that I'm not really enraged. I was mad that he would call us out when he doesn't know at all what he's talking about, and everything makes sense. And Randy, and I was standing up for Randy as a friend because people were calling Randy lazy when they don't even know how much time and effort we put into this. And it got Randy, I'm not going to say it pissed you off, but it made you a little mad because you're like, Fears, I don't know what else they want from me. I'm working hard on it every single day. And I'm like, Randy, they're just doing it to get a reaction out of you. And I'm like, Randy, I know how hard you work. So, Pixel, I'm standing up for Randy and I'm standing up for our cartoon. Everything in this cartoon makes sense.
Well, I was 50-50 Fears. Like, part of me didn't bother me because I knew it wasn't true, but another part of me was like, what do they want from me? I'm like one guy.
Yeah, and you're one guy, and we split everything down. Like some people was like, "Oh, Fears didn't pay for the voice actors." That's bullshit. It isn't bullshit. I helped Randy pay for that, and they're like, "You don't appreciate Randy Fears." I do. Randy lives in Florida. I live in Missouri. Whenever I do come to visit Randy at some point, I'm gonna take him out to dinner to show appreciation for all his hard work on the cartoon. And I am a man of my word, and Randy knows. Like, before we left film school, Randall, what did I do? I took you out to dinner, Randall, and I was like, man, Randall, I'm going to miss you as a friend, dude. And remember, it was right after our graduation, Randall. I don't remember what restaurant we went to, but we kind of had like a going away party. Like, you're like, well, Fears, I'm going to stay in Arizona for a little while and then, move back with my mom into Florida. You're going to Missouri. So he's like, why don't we hang out one last time? And I was like, well, Randy, I'm like, this ain't goodbye. I'm like, we're going to keep in touch on Facebook. But he's like, yeah, he's like, we may not be able to hang out, for a long time. And so we kept in touch on Facebook. And I said, well, Randy, how about we go out to dinner? I took Randy out to dinner. I paid for dinner, if you remember, Randall. And it was a great going away party.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty good.
So, yeah. And, it was good stuff. All right, let's continue on. So I really appreciate everybody letting us talk and stand up for ourselves because I felt kind of helpless, Randall, because I'm like, I can't do anything about it because I'm not going to come in on Moody's stream because that's what he wants. And I'm like, I'm not going to give him any reaction. I'm like, whenever we do our commentary, that is when I will stand up for ourselves.
All right, well, we only have a minute left
so
on the cartoon.
Let's continue on. And this is a direct tribute to the end of Superman. Every Superman ends with him flying up like this, cutting across the earth, and then coming back into frame. And then right here, I said, Randall, just make it exactly like the Christopher Reeve ending where he looks directly into camera. He breaks the fourth wall, looks at the audience, gives them a smile, puts his fist up like this, and then he's up, and away.
Fears showed me the original footage of Superman 3, the very ending. I watched that clip like 500 times over the course of 3 days. And like I said, Fears wanted it exactly like the Superman 3 ending. So if you look at like where Fears is coming out, like
Yeah.
that's the same like area in frame is like the
Mhm.
same area that Superman comes out of. And
Yeah.
then the same time where Superman like kind of flies across the thing.
Well, and the
It
reason
was
why, Randall, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. The reason why I chose Superman 3. Let me rewind it. The reason why
it has the best ending of them all.
it has they're all the same. 1 through 4, the Christopher Reeve. They do the same shots, but they do the same shots a tiny bit differently. But it's always the same ending, and sometimes they would switch up just a tiny little bit of the music. And so I thought the music was loud enough. Randy could use it, and Randy made his own variation of the music. And then I said, Randy, don't make it exactly. I said, make it almost exactly, but put your own little twist on it. And so this is what we came up with.
And Fears had about like 4 or 5 corrections, and I did those 4 or 5 corrections, and I put even more stuff in there. Like you see, there's the moon in the background. I put the moon in the background. Fears wanted it to just fade out, but I had the idea like in Superman 3, it kind of like, moves away from the planets, and the planets, it's kind of just goes onto black space. So I moved the Earth down, and instead of fading to black, I moved the Earth down, and then I moved the moon out of the way. Then I had Fearsman fly off. And then it just cuts to the credits.
Well, because I forgot about the moon. And if you look at the moon in the background, I said, Randy, I said, oh, dude, I said, we need to make a correction. And he was like, oh, what, Fears? He's like, we're almost done. And I said, Randy, I hate to do this to you. I said, could you make a couple of changes? And he said, Fears, will it add to the epicness of the cartoon? I said, yes. And Randy actually agreed with me, Randall. Didn't you? You love the change. And what was the last 3 changes were have him look directly into camera like Christopher Reeve, because Randy in the original edition did not put his fist up. He just kind of put his fist up a little bit.
Well, I put the fist up, but the fist up was cut off by the top of the frame. You said move him down a little bit and have him put his fist up, so when he puts his fist up, you can see it.
Yeah, so I said just move him down a little bit, and then that's when Randy remembered. And he said, "Well, Fears," he goes, if you remember, because the very first rendition is Randy had him come into frame, kind of just hover in midair, and then smile, and then fly away. And I said, "Well, Randy," I said, "if you watch the original ending, he's always moving. He doesn't stop and just hover." So I said, "Don't make him hover." I said, "Have him come into frame." I said, "Have the Earth kind of fade away as he's flying up. Have him look directly into camera, smile." Put his fist up, and he's up and away, and then have the moon fade off, and then it goes, bam, directly into credits, just like this.
Yeah.
And then it goes into the credits, and then, Randall, we don't have to say anything about the credits because, it's all, there's no Easter eggs in the credits.
Right.
But we'll let the credits go up, and I just want to thank the fans for all the loyal support. And Randy, thank you so much for all your hard work. I love it. And most of the fans love it.
We put a lot of stuff into this. A lot of stuff.
We did.
I think we put about like 3 hours worth of commentary. Fears on like a 20-minute cartoon.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, we had a lot to say, about those Easter eggs because we had a lot of Easter eggs, Yeah.
And then originally, I just had the credits over black, but like as a little finishing move, I thought, in Superman, the credits are going through space, so I added space in the background.
Yeah, exactly. And here, let me click it back onto me. Let's see here. And let's see here. Give me a second here. There we go. It's back on me and now Randall. And Randall, I cannot thank you enough. It was a lot of fun. And what were you saying, Randall, before I had it back on me?
That I put some space in the background.
Yeah, you put some space into it, and I just can't thank the fans enough. It was great, and I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the commentary. We will be back for episode 2. We're going to upload episode 2 of Fearsman and all the Cameo Man episodes. And I don't know if we'll do commentary on the Cameo Man ones, because I don't know if Random wants to do that, but we definitely will do commentary on every single on every single Fearsman episode. N4 says, great job, Randy. You did some good talk on Fears. I thank you. Richie said, I enjoyed it. Good night, good day to Fears, Randy, and everyone in the chat. I got to get some rest for tomorrow. Well, Library of Laughs, if you want to come back at 5:30, we're going to be doing a drawing stream with me, Sega, and Randall. So 5:30, we will be back with an epic drawing stream. And the theme, the greatest theme, in honor of Sega, we're going to do one. Since in one of the last few streams, Rando, I had Richard DeVizio in the chat, the Mortal Kombat guy. I thought we could do a Mortal Kombat themed drawing. Finish him. Finish him. Yes. Randall, what was that? What the hell is that? Oh, is that him ripping the heart out, Randall?
Yeah.
I was wondering what the hell you were doing. Oh, okay, all right, there it is. All right, Library Laughs says, I will try different times in the UK. Well, only, hey, if you're a real fan, Library Laughs, you will get here. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Library of Laughs is a great fan, and I appreciate all the loyal fans and the loyal support. And whenever Fears gets a PO box, guys, I'm going to show you how good I am to the fans. I will be writing letters to you guys. I will be responding to comments. If you mail me an envelope with your address on it and a stamp, I will mail you a signed autograph of Fears. It'll be on the way. So I love my fans. I hate the trolls. I hate them with a passion. Randall, we need to make a cartoon where we just kill all the trolls in a violent, funny way. Maybe Black Cauldron dies falling down into the forbidden well. Maybe Vinyl Joe, somebody walks up to him and bashes him over the head with a vinyl record. Maybe Quentin, in his name, Randall, Die Quentin, maybe he just dies of all of his sarcastic comments, and he just dies because people are so sick and tired of his sarcastic comments. Maybe Moody should mind his business, stay over in the freaking in France or Sweden or wherever the hell he's from, Sweden or Netherlands or wherever the hell he is. So anyway, I don't know what his death should be. Maybe a dog should just attack him and fight him continuously, and he dies of rabies or something. I don't know. But anyway. Randall, it has been a fantastic drawing stream. Not drawing stream, a fantastic commentary stream, Randall. And I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad the fans enjoyed it. And hopefully we don't have to call anyone out anymore. And hopefully the next episode of the commentary will just be on the commentary. But Randy, I hope you don't mind that I called some people out. But I felt the need to do it because you worked so hard on this cartoon, Randall. And I'm not going to let people what's the word? I'm not going to let people belittle your work. I'm not going to let people say, hey, it doesn't make sense when it really does make sense. Every single thing of it makes sense.
Well, now people know how much thought and effort. It was 1:30 my time when we started.
Yeah.
It's 5:31 my time right now. So that's 4 hours worth of information on thought that we put into this.
And Randall, if you think about it, we put even more thought into the actual story that they don't even know about. Like how many days of prep do you think we did before we even put one single word? How many? 10 days, 20 days? You think?
Yeah. Maybe
prep, maybe more. Yeah. Maybe more than that. And like I said, we changed the script up at least 10 to 20 times, something like that. Or we added stuff to the original script until it got perfect. So yeah.
Yeah, because again, like we said during the Helena and Will L scene, some of the voice actresses only allowed us 100 words. So like the Helena and Will L scene, we had to cut down the female audio, and then in the Tina C scene, same situation. We had Tina C saying a lot of dialogue and stuff. we had to like,
But
kind of
actually,
like
Randall,
change up
Randall,
Fears.
Randall, actually it worked out to our advantage. I didn't mean to cut you off, Randall. I'm so bad at cutting people off. I'm sorry. It actually worked to our advantage, Randall, because by shortening their scene, it moved the story quicker. Wouldn't you say?
Definitely.
But I mean, we did have more information in there, but you know, we can always just add that information that we cut out in another episode. So there it is.
Yeah, and there is some vital information. I'm not going to reveal what any of it is yet, but there is some vital information in the Tina C scene and a few of the other scenes that a lot of people said are slow. There is some information that will come back in later episodes.
And I always thought that was funny when they said, "Oh, this is a slow scene." Like I think Yakov said that. I'm making fun of Yakov. Yakov is not a troll. Other people said like they slowed down the scene. We had to put those scenes in there. You have to establish the story, his environment, his origin story, where he comes from, where he goes to work. We had to establish all that before we get into him saving people and his normal routine of working at his security job, flying through the air, all that stuff. We had to establish all that. Now that we've established all that, we can build off that. That's what telling the story is all about. You set it up, and you keep telling the story, you keep adding on to the story. That's what being a good storyteller is all about. Correct, Randall?
Correct.
Yeah. Randall, you kind of paused there. Were you checking out those girls in the back?
No.
Okay, I could have said, I'm like, Randall, I'm like, those are young girls. You paused for a good 5 seconds. I'm like, Randall, what are you doing?
I said correct. I just don't think you heard me. You can watch this back. I said correct.
Okay, well then it may have cut out or something. I was like, what is Randall doing? What are you doing, buddy? Come on. Randall, you're wonderful, wonderful. Rich says, Fears, is that 5:30 Central Time? I believe so, because Randall you're an hour ahead, Randall, right? An hour ahead?
An hour ahead of you, yeah.
Yeah, so
I think it's Eastern Standard Time is
so Eastern
time.
So right now in Missouri it's 4:35. So at 5:30, guys, my time, Missouri time, Eastern Standard Time, we're going live with the drawing stream, and it's a Mortal Kombat theme. So bring all your suggestions. It's going to be good stuff. Anyway, thanks. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Randall for doing this. I think Randall, this may have been our longest stream yet. All right, so this is Fears, and this is
Lord Randall,
and this is Lord Fears, and thine will see thee later. All right, bye.